Athletes are always challenging themselves to get better. You've seen this in all sports. Esports is no exception. You can never predict the outcome. The only thing you can control is how ready you are. Over and over, players adapt, trying to improve, fighting hard for every percent gained. Give everything you've got to the challenge and show your finest. Bring your best out. Strive for perfection. It's our goal too.
Taiwan excellence empowers innovation in everyone's life. We keep moving forward to a wonderful tomorrow, dreaming amazing dreams and living fuller lives, everywhere, every moment, every day. Taiwan excellence, everyday excellence.
everyone, and welcome to the grand finals of the South Asia region for eXTREMESLAND Festival 2020. It's been a while, but I'm back with your boy Mitch. I wasn't really meant to be here. It was meant to be both Mitches kind of taking us through Blaze versus 2EZ Gaming, but unfortunately something's happened over in WA, and hopefully it's not too serious just so far. But I mean, talking about some serious gameplay here, Mitch, this is looking pretty exciting. Arguably two of the better teams throughout the competition looking to kind of go head-to-head here.
I think these were the two expected teams to make it through to the grand final. In the fashion that they did it, though, very, very close games. Obviously, we had a very close best-of-3 series yesterday that I got to cast between Wicked and your boys over at Blaze. Could have gone either way, really. Very, very neck and neck, although Blaze probably could have just won it in 2 maps. It ended up being a massive 3-map affair, which went into OTs. And then you covered the other grand final, which I saw had relatively close scorelines. So what did you think of that?
It was kind of too easy. Just I think I said it yesterday as well. Them kind of holding down the W key and them not being contained. I have to say, like, some of the players I really enjoyed seeing. You have a couple of good role players. So both on Blaze and 2EZ, I'd say you have a couple of good role players. But I guess it's going to come into the finals about which one of these individuals are going to pop off, right? I think yesterday I just saw SK from 2EZ Gaming kind of just... You would have loved to see this, Mitch. Just imagine like someone who's wide swinging more than somebody.
There you go.
Just doing it again and again. I've never seen someone peak mid doors as a CT with a Deagle and with an AWP, with anything at all, 10 rounds in a row, and just not getting punished for most of them.
There you go. All right. Well, we will see if Blaze are ready for that. You would think that some of these teams are relatively familiar with each other. Yeah. Let's see in this grand final if they're going to be able to do anything clever to try to counter that, or whether it's just going to be full force W.
Well, I mean, these guys have versed a lot in the last couple of months. Obviously, the rosters have had a bit of changes over time for Blaze, but for 2EZ, the rosters relatively remain the same so far. And it's not a case of, I would say, there are definite favorites here. Both sides have been able to take victories off each other. 2EZ have been able to snatch a couple of victories across before. Blaze, they took the grand finals for ESL India, I think back in November 2020, which is only a couple of months ago, realistically, only 3 months ago. So, might be a very, very close series here, Mitch.
And it's interesting that we start off this series on Overpass. I think we're already running into some issues potentially. Maybe a few people AFK here on the CT side, or having some tech issues because we are live in the pistol and nobody's really running around too much. So I guess we can take a little look at the vetoes here. Did have the ban of Mirage out from Blaze, Vertigo banned out by 2EZ. Then we had the pick of Overpass from Blaze. So they are a team that looks like they often want to go towards the edge of the map pool. In the semi-final yesterday, we saw them pick Vertigo up against their opponents of Wicked. And now they've gone ahead and picked Overpass, and they were also plenty comfortable leaving it down to Nuke as well, which is a map where, you know, they had some decent stuff on. It was a little bit shaky and a little bit rough around the edges, but they're a team that doesn't shy away from the edge of the map pool. That's the way I'd put it. And they've got their pick of Overpass here, so this is an opportunity for them to try to push their opponents out of their comfort zone and try to get themselves a map victory nice and early on in this grand final. Try to put themselves ahead because we've got Dust 2 and we've got Inferno coming up. So those 2 maps, you know, those are going to be straight in the middle of the map pool. And if I haven't watched 2EZ play yet, but if their style is what I believe it to be, and as you've described it, I'd imagine those are the kind of maps where, you know, Dust 2 is a map where they're going to kind of thrive with that style. On Inferno, it's going to be a little bit back and forth. You know, there's room for structured gameplay. There's room for a little bit of looseness, a little bit of W key.
Yeah, even arguably on Overpass, it's one of those maps where you kind of want to see the solid fundamentals in terms of taking the map control. Blaze definitely have those fundamentals down in terms of the T side. Pretty solid at obviously just grasping and kind of wrestling it away. But the problem is for Blaze, the last couple of best of threes, they start very slow in the first map. Yesterday, 2 days ago when they were versing their opponents on this map, it's quite a while ago now, honestly. They started on the CT side.
Yeah,
and
I would
went
say
down
they started
0-6 or 0-7.
Yeah, I'd say they started a little slowly against Wicked yesterday as well, even though they did end up finishing off Vertigo. That was, I feel, in part due to the fact that we had a lot of tech issues for Wicked Gaming. They lost a player for quite a while. They had to play around a couple of rounds 4v5 towards the end of the first half. And from there, it didn't really look like they were mentally in the game. So, I mean, you can't afford the slow start, really, if you ask me, in this grand final. You're going to pick overpass. You're going to start out on that T side. You need to get things rolling nice and early on. And I would agree with you. I think Blaze can be slow starters, but in a grand final, there's no real room for error.
Yeah, so just a bit of an extended tech pause, hopefully not too much longer. So I think one of the players just trying to figure out their connection at this stage. It was actually Blaze, I think, against Wasted Potential. They were like down 0-6 on the CT side of Overpass, and it wasn't against a particularly, dare I say it, like insanely structured opponent. It was pretty much on a team that was just pushing and just getting entries across the board, just winning a couple of aim duels. And as soon as Blaze started waking up, some of the individuals were able to get a couple of kills on the board. They were able to lock down some of these choke points. That's when the story changed a little bit more, and that was where it became a bit of a one-sided story from that point onwards for Blaze, where they took it 16-8. So.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how it does pan out. I would imagine this grand final is going to be largely down to form, because it is often what we see from a lot of these teams who do favour the looser play style. If the form's good, if the players are feeling sharp and on point, then it's quite a difficult style to deal with, especially in a high pressure match like a grand final, you know, where there's a bit of money on the line, things like that. If things are flowing correctly and all the boys are on point, you know, it's very, very tough to play against that style.
Well, starting with the first round, finally, we're into the action. Going to be too easy. Opting for the CT side on Overpass, which is Blaze map pick, as we've covered earlier on. And already just a bit of initial probing over here by one of the CTs before he backs away. Full B-side stack.
Yeah, pretty standard stuff. This is what you see often on Overpass, just the spot towards A, see if you can see any players crossing over towards A, and you stack 4 on the B bomb site. You got that one player in heaven just with usually 2 flashes. It is a smoke for Nike's era this time. So usually you want those counter flashes for Monster. Not going to be the case. As for Blaze, this is something I've seen from them on a pistol before. A lot of very passive positions, waiting for pushes on Monster, waiting for pushes on Long, just gathering a lot of information before they make the most informed decision possible, making sure the CTs don't have too much info. Mazel here with the 2 sets of utility, just smoke and the flash, bringing over the bomb as well with that P250 up towards bathroom. I'd imagine it's going to be a dumpster smoke, just the one flash over the top, and it's still only SK over here towards this A site, so he's got his work cut out for him.
Yeah, he hasn't swung wide enough to clear it as well. Out comes the footsteps now of the T's, and he has to fight it off. That's a good little start for SK, at least able to hold against Ritz. Just making sure that long play goes down, but unfortunately can't really double down. Now the rest are too easy, going to try to re-establish the CT control before pushing in.
Yeah, only a 1-for-1, but they do have the smoke and the kid there that they can throw down on the site. RVK playing close, though, might be able to be isolated by the CTs, but he's the one isolating people. A double kill and pushes into dumpster as well. This is really unsettling the CTs in at bank here.
Yeah, they're pretty much stuck in a crossfire at this stage. There is absolutely nothing they can do, even if they do drop it. I mean, it's just RVK looking to nearly slay them all. Like, he's going to drop that smoke. He's going to try to go for the defuse, but there should be enough spray coming through. They're tapping him away. It doesn't have body armor. It's going to be Raph that gets the kill at the end of it. So, nice little round there from RVK to grab Blaze the pistol.
Yeah, I mean, he was kind of out on an island, as it were. The rest of the team had just pieced it back to bathroom, playing that default post plan, which honestly might not have worked. A treat when you do have that smoke and the kit ready for the defuse. You know, you can kind of try to get that defuse off, and the rest of them can kind of run distraction and try to take aim duels while you are diffusing in that smoke. But RVK getting a lot of work done. Nice little run boost there for a little bit of extra speed into con for Paradox, which is going to be followed up by the rest of his team. Bit of a stack in con. Actually, a push onto RVK. He needs to be careful not to get caught, but the spray control's good. Doesn't take a single point of damage, and he's not going to be too upset about how that one's gone.
SK, in the meantime, able to at least respond with 1 for now, but that's only a Mac 10, so not really a firepower upgrade. They're still going to progress to unders. There's another kill for the CTs. Just trying to keep the T side economy honest for now.
Yeah, taking 2 guns in a round like this, really not the worst thing in the world, honestly. In the meanwhile, though, Blaze getting that smoke down on mid-site, going to be planting in mid-site, which can be defended from multiple positions. SK, in the meanwhile, just on an exploration in unders, seeing if he could try to take one more gun off of the T side. That would be ideal. Forcing 3 rebuys and maybe a rifle being taken out of the equation rather than just the Mac 10s would kind of be ideal for the CT side before they get up into their buy in the next round. But it's not really going to be able to find too much. Worth noting that 2EZ are actually going for the third round buy rather than what is somewhat common on some maps. You see the second round force into the round 4 buy if the force is not successful, because you will have superior utility, you will have access to an AWP and things of that nature, which on overpass is pretty important. You need that extra utility to be able to hold down some of those B rushes, get the counter flashes and the Molotovs in position, as well as the smokes. And obviously overpass known to be a bit of an AWPers playground if you have the right player on that AWP.
Well, into the gun round, there's not much utility to play with. And speaking of AWPs, nothing just yet.
Yeah, I mean, that's where that third round buy comes into equation, right? Yeah. No util, no AWPs. So B-Rush is actually very effective against this kind of a buy here. Not going to be employed by BL4ZE Esports, though. It does look like they're getting the front bathroom and divider smokes out very, very early on. SK Wow already playing very, very close up on towards that party line. Wants to try to take a duel nice and early on. I think he's going to get it as well.
Yep. It's just going to come down to the timing and patience at the moment, Ritz. It's going to be 2 CTs pushing forward, but the T is slowly encroaching on them. SK spots out one of them, needs to thread the needle right now. Ritz is going to swing out, should be covered off by his teammate, but the trade comes in afterwards. Nike is going to have to just fight it out. Does it quite successfully, but at the same time, it's just going to mean that RBK is going to be accelerating towards the A side. It's going to try and catch the CT rotator.
He's got a good timing here, and I think they're well aware that short A is dirty, so it's good to see the patience on that player, Omkar, rotating up, not overcommitting. Nike going to hear some of these footsteps now. It does actually take the duel towards long, but he's going to lose it to Raf, and then Omkar actually does clear out RBK, so not too bad for the CTs. 3-on-2, they're well aware of where Blaze are going here, so they just need to trade down material at this point.
Smoke for the cross. Trucks are very, very dirty. And Paradox finally going to be rotating up. Raf's just clearing sight the best he can at this point in time. But, ooh, he's going to be playing open for Bank. That smoke's not going to cover it. Bit of a mistake there. That's going to be coming out from that T side. Kara left on this clutch situation. Bomb not really in his control at this point in time. And the CTs now spreading themselves out into a very strong crossfire position. Nothing he can really do. Can't really fight his way out of that scenario.
It does seem like we've dropped a player from the server yet again, so the technical issues continue. Couple of timings that could have been worked there a little better, potentially by the Ts. Obviously, it did seem like they were aware of the aggression being a possibility, but just failed to defend it. SK, very, very nice job on that aggression, kind of essentially threading the needle in the default, as it were. Although they are still running that defensive default, they are still sitting back, holding for some of those pushes, trying to exploit the aggression. They still end up suffering to it as a result. And 2EZ, a couple different timings could have gone badly for them in that round, but every single time it looked like that the round was about to snowball out of their control. That one critical kill came in, particularly from Omkar in that round. Really, a couple of big impact frags from him.
Yep. Omkar doesn't grab that one. There's, pretty much no control of the A site for the CTs. It allows RBK to run a little bit amok, so to speak. Would have been a very, very hard kind of 2 and 3 retake from that scenario, but
doesn't end up occurring. Money's still shaky for the CTs. Well, I was kind of wondering whether this will be the buy-through from Blaze. Util very limited for them. Ritz is going to have to go down to pistol armor most likely, but still goes to the P250 for that smoke grenade. Key to see what the approach is going to be here for Blaze. Limited util means that their options are a little bit more limited in terms of what they want to go for. Playing for a slower, more drawn-out round is not always going to be advantageous for you if you are at a utility disadvantage. So I like the fact that there is no aggression this time from 2EZ Gaming. This is a round where you don't need to be aggressive. I like the fact that they're just playing backs on the site, towards the A site, towards back of B. there's no reason to take risks. There's no reason to fight for map control in a round like this. You've got a weaponry advantage. You've got a utility advantage. Just utilize some strong positions and some utility correctly, and you should be able to find yourself a round win. Conversely, on the other side, though, if you look at BL4ZE Esports, what they really need is they just need to hit a sharp timing and some good shots. They are at a massive utility disadvantage. They've only got one flashbang to try to get into one of these sites. So, I mean, essentially, there's only going to be a few small windows that they can try to exploit in a round like this before they're kind of shut out of it, essentially.
5 smokes for the TCUs, but you can see Marzel sneaking his way very, very close, looking to explode behind this smoke. Now the smoke can be used over at Dumpster. T's going to be pushing forward. No counter flashes coming forward. Just a fight being taken by SK. Wow. Almost sprays the third one down, but Nike is tucked into a corner here. And this leaves Para once again. 1-on-3 scenario. We've seen this one before. The likelihood of winning it, about the same-ish.
Really, really good defense. That's exactly what you want to be seeing from 2easy. Just utilizing those strong positions, playing anti-flash to that one flashbang that was all that was there, and being able to shut that push down. SK seeming like a very, very strong aimer. Haven't had a chance to see 2easy gaming just yet, but this is the kind of player that you do not want to be playing in a grand final. Someone that's going to multi-frag consistently and have big impact. Going to have a round reset, potentially some more technical issues. My favorite.
I mean, already the game has probably had just a little bit under the amount of rounds that we played in terms of tech issues, which is might mean that we finish at 11 o'clock here. I'm
ready. My body's ready. Ask for an hourly rate. Anyway, my mistake. He's going to have to take a save here. Definitely getting shut down in the last couple of rounds. And as for 2easy, they're quite comfortable at this point. You know, they're not going to have too many economic problems as long as they're able to keep most of their guns up against the pistols. Even in the next round, you're going to be looking at Blaze going into a buy. You can see they've got about 2K in the bank on all of their players. Unless they can get a bomb plant down, they're looking at about 4 to 4.8K on most of their players. And, you know, that's going to be somewhat limiting in terms of the util. You have to choose whether you want to go, you know, smoke flash or smoke Molotov. Instead of having the full kit of util, you definitely won't have an all. So, like I said, it's somewhat limiting in terms of your options. It's somewhat limiting in terms of running a default. If you want to clear out some of these angles, like chuck a smoke onto the a Molotov onto Divider, then you're going to have some issues. That is a good pick for Marzel, though. Already gets his hands on an AK. But SK, again, multi-fragging quite well until he gets flanked out by RVK. And those are exactly the aggressive positions that they didn't play last round. But now anti-eco, they are starting to take some risks, very unnecessary, and their economy is suffering as a result.
Yeah, especially Nike just trying to take the deal as well. Brits almost able to grab the timing. But now with 2 CTs being spotted over here, looks like Blaze going to try to reroute their way back towards B. Still going to be that anchor player, Spawn. Going to be assisted up from high from Paradox. And I have to say, those are the 2 players that really impressed me in terms of kind of situational awareness and positioning a lot of the time was actually Spawn and Paradox yesterday in the semi-finals. Let's see if they can keep it up. Haven't really seen the most action so far. Given that it's mainly exploded out towards A side, but that's a shot and a half from Raf.
Yeah, great shot to be able to set up this 2v2. Bomb gun goes down behind Sandbag. The Molotov actually going to default. Raf gets another shot straight into heaven. This is going to be an upset on the pistols, I think, Kev.
Yep, it's all down to RBK and Omcar. Full set of utility for Omcar to work with. Has a smoke and 2 flashbangs. Still suspects that potentially RBK is around the column. But RBK has long jettisoned that position. He's wrapped around back to short. All comes down to timing. Was not spotted out. Smoke actually goes towards the long side. And those are the rounds you can't be losing as 2easy. Blaze, huge economy injection, not to mention a round victory.
Yeah, I mean, essentially that's just 2easy gaming throwing the game in the bin. They were in about as advantageous of a position as you could be heading into that round. You know, you saw Blaze; they were about 2K across the board in terms of the money. 2easy had a strong buy up, and they had a bunch of cash in the bank accounts to be able to take through the rest of the half. And then you get somebody solo peeking on party, you get somebody solo peeking in con. You lose a handful of guns. The round gets messy from there, where it never should have. And That's exactly why they've ended up in this position. Now their economy's cooked. Like you said, a massive cash injection for the T's. SK swinging into Con again, just with some of that ruthless aggression that he's not being punished for yet again.
Look, don't say I didn't warn you here, Pilly. I've had at least a couple of best of threes to watch him play now.
I'm not sure even somebody would have swung that, to be honest.
He would have.
He would have waited till they were a bit closer, I think. He's not much of a swing 1B deagler for the most part. Nice little boost there. Gives an opportunity onto Raph. Could have picked him off. Either way, SK getting himself AK and armor. Oh, that's a nice pick from Spawn as well. Jesus, again, the deagles. It was happening yesterday as well, Kev. Just the pistol force buys being very, very effective. And now Blaze trying to 3-on-5 into a B stack. This is not going to go well.
I mean, they know one's crossed over, but the problem is there's so many CTs ready to receive this at the moment. Marzel going on the entry, though. Won't be flooded out. Trying to spray through. And so far, Marzel, as well as Ritz, able to at least equalize the situation. Paradox just going to keep his head down for now. That's a great little round from Marzel. Stepping up as the IGL with the firepower when needed. Last CT, now heard out as finally Nike shuts down the killing spree. There you have it, should be Ritz on the double swing with Kara to at least close out a very chaotic round. Blaze definitely had to fight back quite strong. Too easy. We're on a 5-3, had their opportunities, but kind of lost it over there towards Monster.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what happened in that position. It just looked like a whole bunch of players not really hitting their shots. You know, they can hit the very, very fancy ones, the peak into Con, the peak onto short with the deagles, but the standard shots, you know, holding the Monster Rush, holding the push up into the B side, really struggled to connect their shots. So it seems like they're saving again. They're going to take a double eco with the deagle armor. Thought they would have been able to buy up in this round, but apparently not. Haven't got that loss bonus rolling just yet.
Problem for me, though, is that, I mean, you look at SK's money. He's kind of bought up over here.
He's very consistently overspending, isn't he?
Yeah.
And he's, again, just swinging down Con and pushing RBK. He's had enough. Look at him. He's traumatized. He's just sitting at the top of the ladder. He's had enough. Yep. I can't believe he still lost that duel. That's insane. That's insanity.
And he'll do
now
it again.
A 5-on-3. Surely they don't drop this one, Kev.
Look, there's one thing I have to say. SK, he'll just keep swinging. He'll just keep doing it. Until he gets punished, he'll keep doing it. Man doesn't learn any lessons.
That's where you need to start seeing them, you know, 2-man into Con, or just get that trade potential. Just stop setting him up for a 1v1. Either don't take the duel at all or take it with a mate. You got a sharp player like that. You can't go toe-to-toe with him. Just try to group. Try to get that trade potential. Group up into Monster now. Paradox, the only one on the site. Flank is already in position from SK. If they could just buy enough time for him to get in through the flank, through Monster, they're going to be in a good position.
Spawn's trying to make it work out from behind, and it will. The bomb's now lost, and Raph, caught between a few CTs, has to just brawl it out. There's the first one, smoking off Monster Pipe. Time is ticking, though.
Retrieve the bomb. Get it up onto the site, but 2 players here with 8 seconds on the clock. It's not going to be working for him. He's going to lose his AK, and that's another gun retrievable for the CTs. So they win another upset with the pistols, or, I mean, it was almost an upset in the previous. They have completely cooked the money of that T side. Ritz drops over an AK. They're going to try and buy up, but as for Too Easy, they're in a fantastic position yet again with their economy. This is the kind of round he should be winning a very, very high percentage here.
Yeah, 2T's a bit slow out of spawn.
Yeah, I think Kara thought the AK was for him. Raf's dropped him a deagle. But now Raf has no secondary, so need to be careful not to run out of ammo at the wrong time. Again, push up long, push straight through party. But like you said, they're slow out of spawn, so it's going to be a little bit harder to defend. They're swinging together, and Raf's going to kill his teammate. Already a 2-man advantage for Too Easy, and SK hasn't even been checked yet.
Yeah, he's just swinging around. Raf is going to come around the corner, and there you have it. Bomb's been lost. I mean, Marzel going to be on the hunt, trying to make a lot of noise. Nike actually trying to take the duel there, but they don't have the bomb, so it doesn't matter if the T's flood over here and get themselves a couple of AKs. The CT's now rotating en masse from that B site, trying to make sure the short defense over there towards Playground.
The double, triple rotate through Monster to try to join up and defend that bomb with SK, who does have his mitts on it. RVK trying to retake through Party by himself. Martzel ages away with not a whole lot of HP. Can't really lend him too much assistance.
RVK, though, might just be able to find the timing at this point in time. He spots the head of the player in connector, but Spawn has got the AWP. Still watching unders, trained on this angle. And Marzel, can he find, once again, another pick? Maybe to make this one a bit more costly? I would say probably not. Paradox is coming in and just reinforce that position as well.
Well, for a piece, but don't let the scoreline fool you at this point. Too easy are miles ahead. Money is cooked for Blaze. Not a whole lot of loss bonus swinging their way either at this point. As for Too Easy, you can just see 2+K on all of their players. They've got a full buy here. This is about as far ahead as you could be at this point. And I feel like every time I've said that in this South Asia qualifier, somebody upsets with pistols or people start throwing the game in the bin. So let's see if they can make that effort happen again. One smoke out onto mid-site from Marzel as they try to rush through Monster, but that's an easy shutdown for Paradox. Not even a single flash to help the teams get out Monster there, and he's just going to ace it. It's, not the most impressive multi-frag when the entire enemy team lines up for you, but it's a good one for the stat pad.
I mean, it's also important just to make sure you hit your shots, right? He's just in the right position. He sees the smoke. He goes in for the fight. Can't fault him for winning those deals and can't fault him for getting the ace and securing kind of the economy situation for the CT side, making sure that no rifles go down here. Here we are. It's your boy. It's your boy Escape looking to fight once again. Two people here. Finally gets punished.
Well, you end up in a 4-on-4 now. Does seem like Blaze want to try and force the issue in towards this Monster area, but also still probing around the map. RVK, he's still checking the con push, even though SK is long dead and nobody else has even set foot in that part of the map. So you can see that's how traumatized he is. He's well aware that his abuser is long dead, but he's still waiting for him. Still waiting for the abuse. Now he starts to take con, come back. Paradox on a nice off angle. Does get traded out. Good little wallbang from RVK there, actually, to keep the numbers even. Off angle from Omkar, though, could be dangerous if unchecked.
And he's maintaining the short control as well, which just allows Spawn to play very, very far back over here. Very powerful position for the CT to work with from short.
Yeah, I mean, both of those spots, just very, very, very strong positions. Progression smoke straight up Party there from RVK. Prompts the push from Omkar. I want to get caught off guard, and unfortunately he's caught jumping there. RVK punishes him, and now it's just Spawn on the site trying to punish that Monster walkout, but he's going to miss his opportunity.
Lands the one on the bomb carrier, though. Someone needs to go grab that. That's going to be RVK. Clued on to the situation. Spawn just making sure that no one can really cross over underneath Heaven. So both T's just kind of exfiltrating the site, or just one of them, just heading over towards short at this point in time. The other one just staying put over there towards Monster.
Nike dropping into the water. The flash is going to set him up for success, but not quite deep enough to push Ritz off this angle, and this is a nice crossfire.
Almost going to be impossible to break, and Ritz, Spawn, surely suspects. Tries to pre-fire the sandbags angle, but RVK holding a bit of an off one.
4K from the man. Massive, massive round there from him, but after all said and done, it's almost like a bit of a participation award, really. One player surviving means the money is very shaky for Blaze, whereas, like I said, Too Easy. After all of the Deagle rounds they've been winning, they just have a ton of cash, and they're going to breeze through all of it right now, actually. Go straight in for the double AWP. This is an opportunity now for Blaze to reset the money and start to pull ahead in terms of this half, but honestly, 5 rounds is not too bad of an effort already.
Few flashbangs just to get the T-AWP posted up. That's going to be Kara. Trying to peer in. SK trying to find the timing. Spots out the arm of his rival. Once again, just unrivaled aggression at this stage. He's been covered off from connected though quite well. Mars is going to try to walk through it to try to catch maybe the CTs off guard, but they've long bailed. They've got the numbers advantage.
Yeah, this is perfect. This is textbook CT side overpass. You take the pick on towards party, you regress straight up long, or you push bathroom. You just never let the T's get comfortable with where you're playing. So many different angles you can aggress, so many different areas. I just want to run straight up long. This has been full info here for Nike. He's heard every footstep over here. You see the rotation coming in from Omkar here. Started to come up towards that A-bomb site. They're well aware of what's going on. Easy shot for Nike there. Even able to light up 2 more. A triple for him if Marcel isn't able to steal it away from him. And he's just won the round single-handedly.
Just nice little swing there. Just sprays them down as they line up. And RBK, at the very least, able to just shut down that killing spree. But the bomb's out of his control for now. And there's still so many CTs just locking away all the positions right now. You even got the jump spot coming out from the AUG player as well.
It's all on his lonesome. The name of the game is not winning the round. The name of the game at this point is economic damage. And he's not even going to get that. SK shuts him down on the wide swing. And that's going to be a reset on Blaze's money. And that's exactly why in the last round, one player surviving is not nearly good enough when you don't have the loss bonus going in your favor. You can see Blaze forced on the eco. It's a rare occurrence nowadays, to be honest. Because as soon as you just get a little bit of loss bonus, a couple of bomb plants on that T side, it's almost like you never run out of money. But in this case, the half has been so back and forth, and Too Easy have had so many rounds where they do economic damage with the Deagles. You know, Blaze, if they even win rounds, they're just so close. They're always coming down to XVXs, and whereas Too Easy, you see them win a round, 4 players surviving. So that's really what it comes down to. The difference in terms of some of these rounds in closeness is the difference in the economy.
Well, Marzel tries to jump out, but still, it's just going to be another Slaughterfest coming out. SK, ooh, misses a bit of a close one there. Knight's still here, but they just double swing straight in. He anticipates it. This is kind of brutal right now, in all honesty. Sure, that was pistols, but Too Easy starting to make it look a little bit easy.
Well, I would agree with you, although I haven't seen their T side yet. And look, all said and done, if Blaze could just get one more round on this T side, hell, even if they don't, this is still a very workable scoreline for them.
Absolutely.
So as long as they could chip through one more round, or just keep things back and forth a little bit more to just keep the momentum and make the game feel a little bit more winnable, they're going to be totally fine, really. Again, looks like Molotov into party, smoke onto divider and front bathroom. RVK does get the better of SK. That's the connector push down. And this is where you see the difference on Too Easy Gaming. SK looks like a very important player for them because they have no info anymore. He's the only one on the aggress. You see all 3 of the players playing passive on the B side. Nike is solo on A and he's got absolutely no info. And this is the kind of round where Blaze are holding all the cards. 5v4. The only issue that I see for them really is just the fact that they have absolutely no utility to work with. So they just need to chuck a couple of high percentage smokes, get rid of some of those really, really common angles out of the equation, and then just hit a site together.
Ritz, that opens up the A site. Now it's going to finally force a rotation out from the CTs. Well, just from one for now.
I really like this from Raf, though. He's just keeping those monster players in check. See if he can catch somebody rotating back off that right side monster. But after all said and done, Marcel, he's deep on the A site. He's got full information.
Oh, Raf is still caught at least one. And spotting out another one as well. But means that Too Easy should be able to get away with a few rifles over here. At least a Sig and an AWP.
I mean, that's why the 1-4 is so popular, right? Just have that one player lurking over towards the other side of the map where he's just keeping the rotations in check. He's making sure that the CTs stay honest on that site while the rest of the team goes and works the other side of the map.
It just all just comes down to whether or not RBK decides to peek into the crosshair of spawn.
Yeah, it's really not worth it, is it? I mean, just look at the money on both sides. Yeah. Blaze, he cannot replace that gun. He doesn't have the cash for it. Whereas if Too Easy loses a gun at this point, they pretty much just wipe their tears away with all the cash they have.
So 6 rounds now on the T side.
Yeah, I mean...
which is fantastic, honestly.
In some ways, this game is not close. In some ways, this game is very close.
I think it just comes down to, can Blaze just pick off one of the aggressive CT members before they die.
I really
Honestly,
think
it's
it
felt
is.
like that, to be honest, a lot
If
of the
SK
time.
finds success, Too Easy Gaming wins a round very easily with 3 or 4 players alive. If he gets picked, then it doesn't really look like anyone else is taking very much initiative.
Do you reckon he's going to swing unders again?
I don't know.
I think he will.
Is it a Sunday today?
He's my favorite player because he's just going to tell himself. He's just going to amp him up and go like, no, don't worry, guys. I'll get him this time.
It's kind of funny, isn't it? Like, I don't understand that mentality where it's like, you're a very, very important player for your team, but you just always seem to find success. I feel like if I knew, maybe he just doesn't tell himself that, but I feel like if I knew, oh, okay, well, if I don't go win the game for my team right now, then we're going to lose, then I would probably just start feeding. And I guess in some rounds he does start feeding, but like the previous. Timeout for Too Easy.
Yeah. Well, there's always a fine line between genius and idiocy, right?
True.
And sometimes the people that tread it the best are ones that we can never understand. Maybe SK is one of them.
Maybe. I just love how there's a guy called SK Wow and a guy called Spawn Too Easy.
I know.
SK Spawn. It's like they're like, hey, let's cut his name in half. You can have SK and I'll have Spawn.
And over there on the other side of Blaze, you have Raph. It's like having that alias. Imagine if just Elfish Guy called himself Geordie. Well, Paradox actually goes down this time around as they're trying to fight through Monster. But a 1-for-1. Actually, there's a 2-for-1 because there's aggression from the CTs on the other side as well. Kara, nice little flick. SK straights out. Tries to catch the T on the off timing. Perhaps able to finally bring it back in their advantage. RVK still trying to pressure SK at the moment. Just fights all across the board at this point in time. Blaze eventually come out on top.
They're very split up though. They just need a group here.
The toes has been spotted.
Yeah, a bit unnecessary. It's painful to watch this kind of round from Blaze when they're just so far ahead that they're all split up all over the map, giving opportunities to Omkar. They just group. It's unlosable. Even as we speak, RBK is walking behind him. But I think he's found the right timing for it, so can't complain too much, really. Nicely done from RBK. He's had a lot of good... he's kind of been the key to success for Blaze Esports in a way, because a lot of the time, if anyone's shutting down the aggression, it's been RVK. Sometimes it is Raph sort of controlling that B side of the maps. Once or twice, it's been Ritz. But for the most part, RVK has kind of been the big impact player for Blaze on this T side, because he's often the one shutting the aggression down and picking some of those CTs when they try to go for some picks or for some info.
100%. He's been very, very impressive so far this entire tournament. Consistent performer in my mind as well. Oh, another pause. Another day in the office. Have we had a
pause for every round yet? It's pretty close.
Only about 4 or 5 tech pauses.
And 2 tack pauses. So
Yeah.
9.5, 9 pauses. Not bad. Good
Not
size.
bad. Yeah, not bad. When they bring back Cobblestone, I miss that map now.
Why did that come into your head?
Oh, I don't know. It's like you never look at a Mirage and you go like, what kind of Mirage games do you remember? Like as like an epic Mirage game that has like a huge highlight.
Only my own.
Whereas it's like you look at Overpass. There's a couple of highlights, mainly around Olafmeister, different reasons.
Overpass, yeah. There's an Olaf highlight on Overpass.
I mean, yeah, sure, Mirage. You've got
What
the
about? I mean,
you got the jumping double from Cold.
When I think of Overpass, I think of Fallen and Guardian flicking everyone with the ult and just doing insane plays. That's what I think of.
Dupree from this position, completely gunning down phase with the Deagle.
Yeah.
Cobblestone, Snacks, Pistol against Na'Vi.
Snacks Pistol, I remember that one.
Yeah. But like Mirage, it's like you think about all the rounds that Mirage has been played, and it's like, yeah, there was a really cool kind of clip coming out from Cold Zero. Cage, simple dropping down from heaven.
Whenever I think of cobblestone, I just think of like very satisfying utility. Like I remember when I used to play, I had like I was always like the lurk player a lot of the time, like working the map. So I would like Molotov long and like smoke deep long, and then like jump flash onto like a perfect pixel line, or you had like view model lineups to go take drop, like smoke off one side, molly the other side, and like pop flash. I remember playing like Renegades on cobblestone, and Asa would like work drop, and I'd be playing drop on CT and just getting flashed of 1B at every round and slamming my keyboard. It's good times.
See, but you don't have those memories of Mirage, do you?
Mirage?
Yeah.
I have a good memory of Mirage.
I don't know. Mirage is pretty boring. I mean, it's...
Yeah, Jim was saying, our producer was saying, it's one of the first maps with open skybox. I remember those on T side, you would have like a fast B strat where you would literally run up the stairs on T side and chuck a smoke over the top of the map, like while running. If it was kind of like a field lineup where you could just throw it on the run and it would land in like that lane area next to tree, and you would just rush B with some very, very fast util. That was good fun. A lot of satisfying grenades on cobblestone, honestly.
Yeah. Vertigo is kind of like... I think Vertigo is actually starting to develop quite nicely. I used to think Vertigo was a bit of a...
Really? Most people have the opposite opinion. I don't know how many pro games you watch on Vertigo, but the amount of rounds that come down to just like smoke spamming and shit like that, or just play out the exact same way.
I think once it's been kind of figured out, it's like you either just fight a certain angle or you just play retake on A site. It's starting to become a little bit stale. I think the magic was very much at the beginning when everyone was trying to figure out the map.
Yeah. So. I guess a lot of maps are stale at the moment, but it's about what kind of stale, whereas Vertigo is a bit more of a gimmicky kind of stale. Whereas, Mirage might be stale as hell, but at least it's still, there's nothing stupid gimmicky on it. It's still, defaulty standard Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
Anyway, none of those maps we're worrying about today. I think it's Dust 2 and Inferno coming up next. Overpass for now. First half, very back and forth affair. Last gun round is going to be a full buyout from both of these sides. Opener opportunity being missed by Spawn, who will probably be pushed off the angle. Double swing into Con. Defended nicely again by RVK. Nade onto Divider, actually, from Ritz. Very nicely thrown from the man, getting rid of that AWPer. And this is going to send Panic caution to the winds here for Too Easy Gaming, trying to over-rotate to the A site, but this might be correct for them.
Comes down to first couple of entries. Ritz is going to go down towards Omkar. Omkar trying to lock down this truck position, but dancing through the fire and the flames he is. Paradox drops a nice little molly. Unfortunately, it's not enough as SK. Last man left standing. Started off the action for Too Easy. You can see they're trying to pick him off at this point in time, but Kara misses an AWP shot. SK still swinging. Has to do his best Shroud impression right now on this 1-3, but he's blinded.
Just two players play anti-flash, heads down, hiding. Then the flashbang comes through nicely from, I don't know, who was that? I think it was Raf. Yeah, Raf threw that from short A. So good discipline, not overtaking those aim doors. Marzel just heads down in that headshot position. Kara behind the A box. It's not something you see too often, particularly in Asian CS, but good fundamentals there in a 3-on-1 to just get the flashbang out and take the aim duel a more high percentage rather than give a player that is very, very sharp, multiple aim duels.
Mitch? Can you tell me how to eat? Okay, so Blaze have a player connecting from Portugal and one from Malaysia. They have like 70 to 80 ping, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how is it that Too Easy, with all their 5 ping, are having internet connection issues? Can you explain this to me? They're living on the server.
Asia. I think Blair was telling me about this a little bit. Some of the Indian servers. He used to tell me maybe it was Singapore. I can't remember, but he would tell me in some Asian servers, some providers and some routing would be cooked where, you'd have 2 players living in the same city connected to the same server. One would have 5 ping, one would have 80. And they don't even live that far from each other. That's the routing in some of these Asian countries. Good times.
Well, quick tech pause is always a fun one. Looks like it's just Marzel joining up.
Don't worry, Kev. Don't need anybody to talk smack yet. I'll see you on Guam server, boy. Get ready.
Wait, why did they have to delay that again? The infrastructure wasn't ready, or?
I think something broke, but
Oh, yeah.
don't take my word for it because I don't actually know what I'm talking about, which is
It's
pretty much the same for everything I say.
It's like the classic, I'll let this pistol round play out and I'll explain to you the very sad tale of the Hong Kong to Perth cable later down the line. Not the Hong Kong, but SEA kind of cable. Well,
Marzel getting pushed off the line, though, by some
Yeah.
good flashes. Oh, that's a nice shot, though. Nice opener. And man advantage for the CT. So already set up nicely on this A site. You can see Too Easy don't want to push in, but they kind of have to. They've got their options relatively limited here.
they have to fight it out, but Marzel, oh my goodness, Marzel was making it a master class. A Marzel class, so to speak, and how to use the USP. And SK, last man left standing, trying to do as much damage. He's actually gushed a lot of these opponents. Does he realize that there's one flanking? I think he does realize, but he can't get the kill at close range.
Oh, the burst!
Oh,
Someone's
he's
been
gonna have
playing
to-
too much Valorant.
Yeah, that is not a classic moment. I can tell you that right now. And the Glock over at long range is not going to be able to do it. Does a lot of damage. Forces some of the CTs to keep their heads down.
Well, nice pistol round. Marzel really digging deep. Did have to reconnect to the server. Then gets a 3k. I've got my eye on you, Marzel. But all said and done, does put Blaze Esports ahead on this CT side in a relatively comfortable position. Of course, out of everyone, SK is the one to purchase Deagle. Mostly because he's got a lot of damage done, but he even goes down to $1,000. Would someone tell this bloke how to manage his economy?
I don't think there's anything about that. That's like telling him to play responsibly. Man just wide swings. Man just keeps fighting. You've got to respect it at some level. He's pretty good with the Deagle. Can definitely create a couple opportunities here for Too Easy. Just overall, not a really good percentage play.
Oh, does seem like a bit of a contact straight out of Monster here. Kara and RVK playing a two-man setup. Smoke does come out at a good timing for RVK there. T's up, not to push through it. Paradox exploring connector for now, not really finding a whole lot of anything. Actually does pop the door open and make his way into short B. Let's see if this crossfire between Pillar and Monster does find a bit of an opener.
Well, RVK has spotted a lot of players over here. Has to go out fighting at this point in time. But that's a nice little nade coming out at the end of the day. It's going to be RVK picking up the ace as well. On the back of that FAMAS, a lot of utility damage. No picks found that Deagle, and he's going to have to go down to a Galil and armor.
If SK WoW buys AK no head armor, I'm going to cry. He goes down to a Galil. Does someone swap him the 8k, or does he have to, does he get taught a lesson here?
Is just going to
Oh, there we go. No, don't enable his bad decision making. Stop it. I hate that. Who did it? Who swapped him the AK? I want to know. Omka, come on, mate. He's got to learn somehow. How else are you going to teach him? Either way, though, he is going to have that AK after all that Deagle armor purchasing, which got a whole lot of nothing done. And now Too Easy doing the Asia CS special on Overpass. They're going to stack towards B. Let's try to walk out contact. Monster, 5 players all here.
Oh, there's the first entry coming out. AK grabs that one Raf. Smoke waiting in hand at that point in time. Entry needs to come forward from the CTs. It's going to be Omka. Actually retrieves that AK at the end of the day. Raf trying to push through the smoke on the back of the flashbang wasn't effective enough. They weren't all blinded. 2-on-3 has, oh my goodness, they're just getting lasered. And Kara just with the UMP. I even get the pick onto Spawn or onto SK at the end of the day. I mean, I can say Kara is definitely not having a good one. 2 for 11 at this point in time. That's Too easy. Back onto the podium for now.
Rough scoreline to be going through a grand final with. The buy through, actually. Marcel buying up. Okay, they're going to buy here. This is something that I've had an issue with Blaze Esports with yesterday as well, is that they do not really know how to manage their money correctly a lot of the time. This is exactly the kind of buy you don't want to be going for because their utility is so cooked. They are going to try to supplement that with an aggressive play. They're double in con, I believe, and maybe they'll take some short B control.
No, they're 4 stacked.
No, 4 stacked and 1 in con. So, look, at least when they're going for a buy like this, they're not trying to play out a standard round. They're trying to take a bit of a risk to make it work, but it definitely hasn't really paid off. And I would have much preferred to see them take a save there and try to get full utility and an AWP. And just try to work their way through the game from there. Basically, I mean, I don't know if you're watching, Kev, but basically the whole reason why we made it to 3 maps yesterday is because BL4ZE Esports doesn't know how to manage their money. And this is a bit more of an example of that. If they lose this round and they drop a lot of these guns, this is going to be a very, very big blow to their economy and allow 2EZ Gaming to build up a lot of cash on this T side and make this game a lot more competitive. But the retake is kind of working for them.
Yeah, RBK just takes the first initial fight, but Nike and Omkar answering and kind Car up, trying to get the close range M89 working. Eventually does manage to spray him down. Omkar, why is this man on a Galil? Why are they almost lining up for him? It's all down to Paradox. He's already been tagged down early. And he also swings onto Marzil, anticipates that peek, trying to find the correct one into Ritz, who does actually have a flashbang to work with. And it is going to be Ritz that closes it up at the end. Paradox doesn't relocate all the way towards CT, trying to play the timing game. Doesn't work out for him. And somehow Blaze get away with that one.
Well, it was a nice retake, don't get me wrong, but again, their money is not great after winning that round, whereas the T's with the bomb plant, their money's okay. We'll have to go down to lack of util on a few of these players, but it's still kind of anyone's game. And all 2EZ gets out of that is a bit more loss bonus. So this is another round. This is going to be a big swing round for this half, actually. If 2EZ wins it, Blaze are going to be double eco on 4 of their players. If Blaze does manage to win it, 2EZ will probably have to single save, but they will start to really stack up that loss bonus quite heavily. Short B control obtained by the T's, who do get pushed out of Monster. A 4 stack on this B side already. I get the feeling that Blaze knows that 2EZ is trending towards the B bomb site. The boost, it doesn't work out at all. They've lost 2 picks for free to Paradox. That is a nightmare scenario for Blaze on a round where their economy might just break.
Just comes down to these site holders at the moment. There's 2 of them here, but Kara gets cleaned up. There's still a crossfire. Marzil and Ritz. Ritz almost makes it work out. Unfortunately, there's just too many opponents. Could have been brought back down to a 1-on-1, but you can't fault the man. Only had the FAMAS to work with. And as you said, kind of just the double eco territory right now for Blaze. Kind of have to force into this one, you'd say.
Well, I guess they have to because they are double eco, but this is exactly my problem with how they choose to buy. If this force doesn't work out well for them, then they have to take another save, and then they're going to have kind of a lackluster buy. Already they've lost Ritz to SK. Push through con from Marzil, who is being checked right now by Nike.
Just a patience game right now, but all the CTs very, very separated away. This might be an opportunity, though. Kara up close with the Deagle. T's actually fallen back without taking full bathroom control. They are pushing Paradox very deep in through long A. And his shoulder has been spotted out.
Yeah, going to try and double click the flash outside to blind him at long, but no repeat there. Does lose his life to Raf, though. And now the push straight in to the B site from 2EZ.
Yep. All down to this one site holder. How much damage can Raf do again? He's able to get a pick earlier on into Paradox, but no more picks from here. Marzil, he's going to charge straight out, but it's been covered. Very well covered by Spawn. And Nike also joining in the action as well, which means that Kara, last man left standing, makes noise opening that door. You're hearing a couple of spray shots or stray shots going near the edge of the smoke. Yeah, they're lining up more mess for him. Kara does manage to at least take 2 to the grave with him. Do a little bit more damage onto the economy of Too Easy Gaming. Making sure the T's aren't getting too out of control with the money. But unfortunately for Blaze, it's not the enemy's money they need to be worrying about, it's their own.
Exactly right, Kev. Their money definitely taking a bit of a nosedive at the moment. And like I said, even if they do buy up into the next, it's like one of those buys where you look at it and you're like, it's, 4 to 4.8k on the CT side. You're not going to have Molotovs. You're not going to have kits. You're not going to have an AWP. It feels bad, man. That's for sure. CT side now. Let's see if they can get any damage chipped away at that T side economy, which is still relatively fragile. Pistols could get a bit of work done here, Kev.
Yeah, especially if the T's isolated. Omka is kind of like the only one over here at unders right now. They're going to start trying to make a bit of a play right now into spawn. That's actually the bomb. We've seen this before. Don't want to see it again. Omka now wrapping around through unders. Kara can hear Paradox at this stage. They're starting to lose members left, right, and center for the CTs. Raf trying to also maybe swindle a bit of a timing at the moment. SK is low. It's down to a 2-on-2. AKs are technically retrievable by the CTs. There's a bit of a ring around the rosy at the moment. Raf should go down to Nike here in a moment's time. Kara's all that's left. Didn't even have time to pick up the AK. Just has the sidearm wrapped all the way back towards the B site. Both T's now grouping up and hitting long A together.
All of those pistol kills make a difference. Taking guns off of Too Easy makes the game a lot more winnable for Blaze. And not only that, even just the pistol kills, like the plus 300s, it makes a difference. It gets you a little bit extra util. It might get you a little bit extra of a buy. Could be the difference between being able to glass cannon an AWP with a flash and, not having any utility or having to go down to an M4. Kara here would not mind seeing him just going and picking up an AK, and that's what he's done. Saving this AK over could definitely make a bit of a difference. Drop it over to one of his teammates. Not only do they get that one-shot headshot potential, but it's an extra belt of full utility, Or even for later, it's a bit of an AWP fund, perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, it allows you to go for that kit as well that you might desperately need. Molotov, M4, instead of for master one of your teammates.
Yep. Absolutely right. Well, it's good damage from Blaze, honestly. Does keep the money a little bit lower on Too Easy Gaming. Makes it a lot more resettable in terms of their economy as they start to reduce their loss bonus, picking up the last couple of rounds. Now the buy up for Blaze. Ritz being the key example of why this kind of a buy is not that great. Does not have any utility. Martzel is glass cannon with an AWP. Let's see if it's going to work out for them. Martzel trying to find the line onto one of these players. Flash coverage is good though, and smoke onto front bathroom. Good protocols from Too Easy Gaming. Just making sure they limit their risk. Don't allow that pick to come out a little bit too early on. Paradox again. Feels like he could find this timing straight up long A, and honestly, he almost does. Good stuff from Ritz, just being able to keep that in check, the jump spot, ensuring that Blaze doesn't get caught off guard by a very, very quick long A push, and also pulling an extra rotate up here towards the A site, but with no control of short B or pressure on B, really. This is going to allow Blaze to actually stack that A site. You saw RVK, he was jump spotting short B. He hasn't seen a single soul, so I think the CT is going to be quite happy to just stack this A site and have the fast rotate on hand.
Progression spoke for long. Marzel going to try and chance a bit of a shot in the dark. Oh no, that's a money nade for sure. Down straight to 8 HP. No armor, and the T is going to be committing out through long right now. It's going to be Ritz trying to hold in from truck. Does have that swing support from Raf as well as a flashbang. But unfortunately, just can't swing through that smoke. Marzel's still alive, but all it takes is a single bullet, but that's a great little shot. The bomb plant's also been denied as well. They were so concerned about the flank. They're planning for Bank, but Bank is not clear whatsoever. Nike is all by himself right now. RBK going to be swinging through, doing a lot of damage. And you can see patience right now from the other CTs. Both of them so low at this stage. Nike, though, cleans out both low HP members. Doesn't expect Raph to be here. That's going to be around for Blaze, but they lose almost everyone for that.
That's a reset on 2 of those players on Too Easy, though. Actually, 3 of the players sitting around 2.5k. So they're going to have to either take a risky force to try to reset Blaze's money, high risk, high reward play, or just try to take a single save. Wouldn't mind the save, to be honest, at this point. Just try to get some damage done while you're getting those pistols rolling. Doesn't really look like Too Easy knows how to execute long A effectively there. Couple too many opportunities being given to the CTs. Utility coverage a little bit lackluster. Now the rush straight out monster to try to get some damage done. Good counter utility from Blaze.
I mean, the Deagles are doing a little bit of damage. They're getting a couple of picks here and there. Paradox, oh, he drops down, but unfortunately it means that Omka goes down instead. And Paradox, he's retrieved that AWP from earlier on. Spawn's trying to find the timing right now on some of these CTs. Won't be able to do so. There's RVK and Raph linking up to at least just secure that round. It's very scrappy Counter-Strike between both parties. But Blaze securing just a bit of a lead for now. Starting to get... Well, I mean, there barely is any reserve cash, in all honesty.
Again, a bit of overspending from Too Easy Gaming. Umkar has to go down to a Galil. SK's got no head armor, which is not ideal going up against the CT side with full M4s and a FAMAS. Don't want to give them that one-shot headshot potential. Not to mention the fact that he's got absolutely no utility. Blaze starting to pull ahead, but again, it's incremental. Nice nade from Marzel. Sets himself up for the 2k. Very nice spray control. Almost got it done, but does get 1-for-1 at the end of the day. Which is not too bad for the T side. They do have con control. They've still been keeping checks on that B side push. They know no one's got too deep or got too much info. But how do they consolidate this round at this point? You're seeing Ritz edging up long, going for the info play. The second that he starts to clear out this area, they're going to know it's B. But with Raph so far away with that util, he can't really help his teammates. It's all going to be up to this 2-man setup. Pillar, as well as that little dumpster there between RVK and Kara to hold this B site.
There's utility out in Kara's hand as well. They're creeping through. They actually managed to surprise one. RVK needs to get the multi-spray down. Doesn't really work out. He can only knock down one. Now it's a 2-on-3. Too easy. From just the slimmest chance. A glimpse of hope, they managed to take it.
Retake looking unlikely at this point. Good utility usage, but they're going to go for it anyway. Double sitting inside the smoke.
Oh, Rap, he gets the first one, but Omka just makes the Galil look like an AK. Spray transfer. That's the CT economy completely cooked once again.
Yep, double eco. They're going to have to force into this one, I would imagine. It's just a nightmare scenario. This is where the T side is just a little bit more forgiving in terms of these close economic scenarios. They're actually going to full save. So, I don't know how I feel about that, Kev. You know, you've got 1,400 and 1,500 on Ritz. Those guys are going to have like 3 to 3.5k next round. It's going to be MP9 or FAMAS, unless they want a double save.
I mean, it might not be a bad idea. Going to try and at least clean off one of the T's at the moment, but they're walking straight into multiple T's. Short pipe. Omka's going to have a nice little surprise there, but he actually just picks... Oh my goodness! What? I was about to say, picks up a nice surprise, but what the hell is that from Raph?
Deagle RNG has blessed him there.
I don't know, that was the sickest two-piece you'll see in a while. Marzel comes in from the flank and picks off at least another one, but they know where Raph is at this stage.
Creep through the smoke though. Opts not to do it. Here's some of the footsteps. Going to try and throw out a few shots, but now he's forced in front of a molly. And Nike's going to check him. So 13 apiece. Good damage there from Blaze. But again, This is where I'm looking at it. Kara 3.3, Ritz 3.4, RVK 3.7, instantly buys. So they're going to back the Famuses and the MP9s to get them out of a sticky situation here. That was just Deagle RNG at its finest. Look, even the raw adjustment was pretty good, but let's be real, Kev. He was moving and he was spamming.
Yes, I'll agree with that. Oh, what's this? It's another tech pause.
Hey, you love to see it. Yeah, so this is what you don't want on the CT side. You don't want a Famus and utility or an MP9 and utility on overpass against a full AK armor buy. That is very sad. I think essentially if BL4ZE Esports loses this round, that's probably the game. What they need really is a clean round here with a couple of AKs picked up. But if I know anything from watching most of this grand final so far, it is going to be anything but clean. It's always coming down to XVXs, 2v2s, etc. So it's going to be very, very close. Back and forth action. Double boost. In towards Con. Trying to find someone creeping through short pipe early on. Isn't able to find anything. That's a fair amount invested for very little game. Marzel is even spotted in Con there. So that's a lot of info for 2Easy Gaming, who actually rerouting back to B. That's probably the opposite of what you want to be doing here, because you know that those A players are in Con. Really what you should be doing is going and taking Bathroom and that A side control and forcing some of the B players to start to rotate up to that A site. But instead they're just going to group up and hit the B site when they don't have short B control. So it's going to be a one-dimensional attack straight through Monster. Kara has got a Molotov at the ready. Never mind.
SK doesn't really care about the utility and execute. He just cares about banging heads. He's going to be swinging around right. Spots out maybe one towards heaven. He's just W-keying straight forward. He's actually behind enemy territory at this point in time. And he has made sure that Raf cannot exit out of heaven. They weren't expecting a T, just beelining it there. Muzzle on the flank, but that's being covered off by both Ts right now. And RVK locked behind the smokes in that entire duration. Now finally has a bit of a chance to fight it out, but that Molotov steals his exit pathway as well.
I think if I was to think of an analogy for that round, it would be essentially shoving your head through a brick wall, but if your head's made of like vibranium or something, it's just going to work. You know, you got AK armor. It even if you're just throwing the, you know, scissors at Rock, essentially, it just doesn't even matter, mate. You just got such a weaponry advantage and a utility advantage that it's going to work almost no matter what you do. And it helps that you've got some really sharp players on the entries to just make everything go a little bit more smoothly. So 2Easy. As I said, Blaze losing that round essentially means the end of the game for them almost. They are going to half buy with the Deagles, and at least they've got a bit more loss bonus to play with here. So they will get one really good buy to try to fight for OT. As for 2Easy, they're going to have very little economic woes for the rest of this game.
I mean, that's true. If it goes into overtime, they don't have too many economical woes, so... Slow round coming out once again from 2Easy, but they're leaving a lot of this map open right now. One in towards this connector area, two bathrooms, just waiting to try to broad out close range with some of these Deagles and P250s. Can definitely do some work.
I like this from 2Easy. It's just a high percentage. You go long A up against the pistols. SK kind of, as the one player in the 1-4, you're the only player that you don't want taking risks, but he's just walking out towards bathroom and losing his life. The rest of the players just going to shove straight up A.
This time Bank is going to be cleared out. This is why they're being planting the Bank side. Kara's managed to sneak pretty close, trying to find this side player right now. There's a nice little pick coming out. Nike just spotting the cross as the smoke is going to fade away. So a 3-on-3. All three CTs from this A side. Or from bathrooms. Long is going to be cleared out. Kara posts on the angle. Raph is going to get cleared up. It's going to be Nike just holding that. And rewarded with 3 kills at the end of the day. 2 match points now for 2Easy Gaming to work with to, I guess, grab Blaze's map pick in this. Yeah,
they've been doing it by committee, honestly. I will say 2Easy, when they go in, they're going in together and they're going in hard. And it doesn't seem like something that Blaze has been able to deal with for the most part on this T side. Even if it is a bit rough around the edges at times, they still make it work because they're just employing good CS fundamentals. Hit the headshots, go in, get those trades, just send bodies at them with some okay utility here and there. And if BL4ZE can't defend it, then that's up to them. Ritz taking a bit of risk here. Out on an island, will be Molotov'd out. That's going to be the death knell for him, I would imagine.
How?
I
How
don't
has he got it out
understand how
alive
he's
there?
able to get 2 kills and get out of there for free either, Kev. That is kind of a Hail Mary for BL4ZE, as it were. That is potentially going to keep them alive in this map.
I mean, the kids these days would say that was a pretty poggers play coming out from Ritz, because not only does he get 2 in a very crucial round where BL4ZE need to keep as many guns alive to double their chances of really making it into this overtime.
But also the kills in that part of the map, it just has this effect, you know, where you lose players over towards party, everyone starts getting a little bit hesitant, and they're all just splitting up at the moment. Nike, he's going to find that one pick onto Raf. He should not be allowed to get another kill here. Actually, isn't punished for that. So able to slip up into B and find a pick there. Kara and Ritz very low. Kara having a bit of a rough game. But Martzel does clear out Nike at least. Last 2 players creeping into A now.
But though, does he clear it? He doesn't clear it just in time. And Spawn, it's all down to him at this moment in time. Ritz trying to cross over. 1 on 2. Doesn't really have the bomb control. It's all the way lost out in the open. The CT swing wide. A lot of damage has been done to the CT economy, though.
Absolutely.
Into the final round.
Bottom 3 players on the CT team, all down to 3.5 again. Have to go down to Famuses, have to go down to MP9s on 2 of them. 1 will be dropped a gun. Util still limited for BL4ZE. A hero play from Ritz to keep them alive in a round like that. They're going to need some more heroics from somebody. Goodbye for 2EZ. Bit limited on the Util because Spawn's gone for the AWP, and Nike didn't have the money, but doesn't matter too much. Push straight through con from Ritz. This man is making plays to try to keep BL4ZE alive in this game. Does get flashed off the line by Omkar. So opts not to push, at least in that round. 3 players on this B site here for BL4ZE.
Looks like SK is just going to try and find the timing once again. He's been naded, though.
Yeah, that does kind of unsettle him a little bit, and they're going to get the smoke out onto Monster once again. 1:10 on the clock. I saw 2EZ going for a bit of a B execute earlier, but doesn't seem like they're interested anymore. Starting to fall back, go and retake the A side of the map here. Kara has no info. Solo on the A side of the map. A smoke down onto Divider. All he can do is jump spot with an MP9, and BL4ZE are just going to stack B. And that is not where 2EZ are heading. They are all starting to fall back, walking up A. No one's getting any info on that B site. No one's getting any info on A.
Oh,
this is going to have to be a hell of a retake here, Kev. Ooh.
It's going to
Ritz
say.
starting to move. Ritz is making his way onto the truck. They're going to flash Monster. This is perfect. They need to get info right now. They peek Monster, see nothing, but it's a little bit too late now. This A site hit starts to come into the fray. 2EZ going to take that A site for free, get that bomb plant down and try to play for the post plant. No util here for BL4ZE on that retake. Absolutely nothing.
They just have to duel it out over here. Paradox not content with letting the CTs out, has Spawn at close range. That's a very hard crossfire, and the MP9s just cannot clear it out. Finally, Ritz able to make a bit of impact right now. Players coming out from Dunster is going to be covered off by Omkar. It's all down to Raph. He does have a kit, but nothing else to work with. 20 seconds. He thinks about saving, but it's the final round. Almost an impossible crossfire to break. Just has to rely on maybe a bit of overzealousness. But it's not going to work out for him. Omkar will be able to grab that final kill. 2EZ. Secure overpass 16-14. As close can be.
Yeah, that game is a bit of a case study for why you have to have economy control on the CT side of overpass. Like, you cannot be fighting every gun round with FAMAS armor. You can't be having MP9 armor. You can't be having limited util. You need access to that AWP. Like, they essentially just lost that CT half to the economy.
Yeah.
And it sucks because BL4ZE, they played a hell of a game. But at the end of the day, I think 2EZ as a unit, just a little bit too solid across the board, and they backdoored the boys. They were just throwing bodies at that site, and they were just bigger, faster, stronger with their AK armor for the most part. So a well-earned victory, a good 1-0 advantage on their opponent's map pick, and now heading into Dust 2 and Inferno, where they should be relatively comfortable. You'd probably be backing them to take out this grand final, Kev.
Yeah, absolutely. They're in a good position to kind of get that revenge, especially onto actually Blaze for ESL India, right? A while ago. I mean, it's always been the case here. I feel like it's like too easy. They've never been able to really triumph over their opponent. It's been a lot of times where they always come second at this point in time. They're always like playing a bit of a second fiddle at this stage. Maybe there's an opportunity here. It's the first time they've gone up 1-0 in a series.
Yeah, so let's see if they can actually convert that series. They can actually take this grand final and win themselves $1,000 along the way doing it. No small sum of money at all here at eXTREMESLAND, South Asia.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we'll have to see if they can do it on Dust 2. We'll be right back just after this.
Athletes are always challenging themselves to get better. You've seen this in all sports. Esports is no exception. You can never predict the outcome. The only thing you can control is how ready you are. Over and over, players adapt, trying to improve, fighting hard for every percent gained. Give everything you've got to the challenge and show your finest. Bring your best out. Strive for perfection. It's our goal too.
Taiwan Excellence empowers innovation in everyone's life. We keep moving forward to a wonderful tomorrow, dreaming amazing dreams and living fuller lives. Everywhere, every moment, every day. Taiwan Excellence. Everyday excellence.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Extremes Land Festival 2020, the South Asia Finals right now. Heading into map 2 with my best mate Pilski, Blaze, as well as Too Easy Gaming on Dust 2. Well, you are one of my best mates, mate.
Yeah, that's true. We probably are best mates.
Yeah,
I don't think I have a closer friend than you, Kevin.
We go out for lunch dates. We talk about Counter-Strike together.
Yep, that's true.
You shoot things better than I do. It is what it is.
I think you shoot things better than I do, but I just play a little bit more. So there you go.
Well, there you have it. So, well, on to Dust 2. Let's see if Blaze can make that reverse comeback happen, or if Too Easy finally get one over their domestic rivals and finally take a victory.
This should be Too Easy's playground, though.
I'm just hoping I can see SK swinging mid again. I'd love to see it.
Blaze did drop over pass, which is probably not desirable.
He's already lowered arc. But has to fight a couple of T's right now, which is... Ooh, it's actually working out very well for SK. Oh, look at that. He even switches to another sidearm. It's faster than reloading. They're not going to...
Just look at Blaze. They're so pushed back into their own spawn, except for RVK, who's the one out long. This round is an absolute mess, and it's all SK's fault. Don't think he's going to be too upset about it at this point, really. Although Raf, 2 picks, does start to peg it back a little bit. Now Omkar trying to scramble onto this B site, has spotted one of the T's trying to make his way into the site, but Raf knows that his teammate is not close enough to him to be able to secure that side. So going onto door is a bit of a decoy at this point. They're trying to bait somebody into pushing lower dark, but with nobody there to push it, they have been left empty-handed and burned to smoke, basically to try to create a little bit of a rotation. Plays now walking hand in hand. This is what you want to be seeing in a 2-on-3. Trying to isolate one of the CTs and even up the man at disadvantage.
Might just work out. Spawn's already on 1 HP. Marzil will be able to get that kill. And now they're going to be flooding straight to that B site. All depends on the positioning. How this round has turned around for now. Omka, though, that's a nice little shot. And Paradox will be able to close things up from CT. So round started quite strongly by SK. As well as Nike over there in upper tunnels. Raf nearly turns it around.
Not quite, though.
Not quite.
Good attempt.
And that's one round out of the 15 so far. We've seen SK swing into mid and lower dark. Let's see how many times it will happen.
Oh, this is like my somebody pushing B apps counter. I'm ready. Well, duel out long. RVK wants to try to swing with that Deagle, but he's going to cop an HE nade and about 40 HP out of this pull there. Blaze now prodding around through middle. Just trying to wolf pack it. Find some openers here. Nice off angle from SK towards window there, but loses head to Raf, who is again playing quite a sharp game for himself. Not too bad though. 4 players surviving. Very good stuff. Good economy management on the CT side, not losing too many of those guns. Now the buy-up round for Blaze, and Too Easy will have to take a bit of a bonus, but with SK sitting around that kind of cash, it's going to be less of a bonus than it may have been. Omkar does drop him an M4, though. The rest of them sitting around 2k, pardon me. Let's see what Blaze have for us in this first gun round. I have oh, here we go. That's 2 out of 3 rounds. We've seen the swing.
Oh no, they haven't spotted him. Oh no, he just gets the freebie onto RVK. It's going to hear the other player as well. That's a bomb blast out of the open. Even though they take long control this entire time. Ritz as well, fighting a CT quite well. It just means that they're boxed in now. As SK, he's got bomb control. He's not tired of this act. Doesn't matter if Kara's going to be swinging in all the way around. He has to have a bit of a marathon and go around the world to maybe surprise SK at this stage. It's Spawn cutting up short. The CT's very isolated, actually.
Well, 1v1 duel. Won by Kara. SK's on for the 4k here to be able to close the round. Has got bomb control. Trying to spot if Kara has pushed up catwalk there. But Blaze doing the smart thing. Grouping up. They know they're both low. SK repositioning, trying to mix things up. He's over here towards Church now, and that's a nice little angle. Freebie onto Marzil there. Kara does actually find the timing to slip out and find the bomb there, but on the cross back, should have been punished, wasn't. Now it's an opportunity to put that bomb down and try to set himself up for a post plant if he can cross in time. I think he's just got the timing.
Oh, he's walking CT. All comes down to the headshot. Of course it comes down to the headshot angle, but Escape just able to take these aim duels. Oh my. Talking about one person just kind of dragging the rest of his team through.
Just reminds me of that scene from Breaking Bad. Can't keep getting away with this. It's running up mid every round.
Well, it's 2 out of 3 rounds. Let's see if it's 3 out of 4 at this stage.
Oh, there we go.
Yep, 3 out of 4. Looking to fight the Deagle, and he gets punished for it. That's a nice little shot from Marzel.
Yeah, a little slap on the wrist from Marzel. One of the more experienced players in the Indian scene. Just saying, hang on, mate. Can't just swing mid every round.
That's where you're wrong, kiddo.
Doing a good job. Doing a good job with the ult. Kara going to retrieve that AK.
Oh, very messy
hold
spray.
on. Yeah, this is getting a little bit messy in general.
Paradox is able to clean up at the end of the day. So into the next gun round, AWP should come out in play now for the T's.
All right, let's see if SK is going to push again. Blaze definitely cottoned on to the fact that it's happening. But it's not just SK that's the problem. I'd say 2EZ playing pretty solidly as a unit last map and this map as well. Doesn't seem to be much of a weak link in general. Kara locking down that angle there. SK this time is over towards middle, being a bit more sensible. And you can just see how traumatized Blaze Esports is. They've got a whole bunch of players looking for this mid push, none of which will find it. Now they're starting to run a bit more of a default smoke onto Cat, Molotov. Up, Catwalk, flash into mid. Does send Raf onto the line. This is exactly what you want to be seeing from a T side on Dust 2. Ritz just applying utility pressure towards B to keep the rotations honest. Blaze starting to fight in mid doors a bit. They still haven't got catwalk control though, and they haven't got a whole lot of utility left. Only 2 smokes and flashes left, so how much util they've used in this early round is a bit worrisome. They have absolutely no flashes to try to get on towards the sites, and you're just seeing how much utility 2EZ Gaming still have access to.
They have 1 smoke. Omka. Gonna make noise though. Not gonna really bait out anyone. Nike actually pushes Upper Dark at the same time. This is so segmented out right now. From Blaze at this stage, all it comes down is a couple of these individual aim duels as RBK. That's a sharp shot into Paradox, but an even better return coming out from Nike is he's able to take the duel quite comprehensively over here at Upper Dark. Marzil, oh my goodness, I don't know how he gets out alive over there and still able to get a kill. But this take has all gone wrong. Even though RBK did manage to get the first one, Kara misses a bit of a sitter there. Spawn.
Yeah, it's the same problem that we've been seeing from a lot of these Indian teams, is the fact that they just run a default but have no util left over for the late round. Either way though, some individual brilliance might get them out of a bad situation. Good shot to start it off from RBK. Now that smoke going down on short as they put the bomb down on the site. 3v2 retake. A triple retake from Long may catch these teams off guard. They're going to dive into CT. It's not even planted for CT, Kev. Oh, my lord.
Oh, I mean, are they going to expect this at the moment? Kara just caught out in the open, and RBK needs to find the swing timing. First shot misses. The rifle is low at the moment. A chance! But unfortunately, Spawn decides, you know what? This AWP business is a little bit too hard. I'm going to switch to the sidearm. He's going to make it work out towards the end. It's 5 in a trot now for 2EZ. Max loss bonus right now for the T side. At the very least, what the T side can say, the CT economy has not been built up in this game. They're not out of it just yet.
At least that round chips it down quite substantially, Kev. They will be able to replace all of those weapons though, but like you said, that is the round that changes things. Just that coming down to the XVX. RVK in particular getting a lot of kills in that last round. Creates a window. It's a small window, but it's a window nonetheless for Blaze to try to exploit. Fast long control this time. Molotov was missed. Leg does actually go through onto Kara, and a good flashbang from Spawn's teammate does keep him alive there. He was kind of sticking around for a little bit too long. Paradox now going and taking that catwalk control now that they've lost Long. The re-aggression from Spawn, the opportunity was there, but a bit of an over-adjustment. And Marzel trying to creep up inside the smoke, flashed out by his teammate. That's going to be a freebie onto Omkar. He's creating a lot of space for the T side now.
Yeah, he's swinging wide as well. Marzel's winning a lot of these aims duels, but Spawn just needs to stay alive and try to fight it out. Raph doesn't really have the ability to push him off this corner. And Spawn actually swings out wide, picks off RVK. Finally, Raph comes in for the entry. So SK
down. Going to try and plant for Long, but that's where Nike's coming from. He might be able to catch Ritz off guard here. Nice pick from Ritz from Carr, but traded back. He should have been. The free adjustment straight onto the head. That's beautiful stuff from Blaze, and that's where that economic situation comes into the factor. You just see $1,500 in the bank account of 2 of those CTs. Their money is
timed
cooked.
out. He timed out when it was over at CT.
Oh no, that's a nightmare.
Don't know if that was a more doable situation. So honestly, for too easy at the stage 2-on-2, but you put SK in those kind of scenarios, you kind of give him, probably the benefit of the doubt of him actually winning one of those aim deals.
Nice round from Marzel in particular. Just calling from the flashes from his teammates. You could see he was in that aggressive position. His teammates are over towards Long. First flash comes towards Elevator. He wins that aim duel, puts his head down at A ramp, gets another flash from the teammate to be able to try to take the next aim duel. Not just swinging wide, That's the kind of communication that not that many players in Asian Counter-Strike are actually, I wouldn't say capable of. Everyone's capable of it, right? But just mindful of,
I don't know. There's actually a lot of good team kind of like support players. I always go back to the time that I was like, it's about 3 or 4 years ago when I was still playing Pugs actively, and I decided for whatever reason I wanted to go play on inside the Asian region for a little bit. So I was playing on Singaporean servers, right, with 150 ping. I was playing Pugs there. I've never been supported better in a Pug by a bunch of strangers ever before in my life. I literally had people that were just going, Blue, I'll flash you in. And I'm like, I've never been treated this well, even in my own team.
Interesting.
Potential is always there in my mind for a lot of the Asian Counter-Strike players. I think it's just always the case of like a bit of ego sometimes. A lot, like I said, this is not at the highest level, so I wasn't playing like, anything close towards the top. Just kind of playing probably around mid to high tier ranks, and I was actually very surprised because I was expecting like a lot of kind of just raw gunfights and everything. No, it was actually just really good support flashes. So I'm not surprised to see it happen, in all honesty.
Well, another tech pause, as we have seen from our South Asian games for the most part. This is kind of the norm. A lot of technical issues for these couple of teams.
I reckon we should play a dangerous game next time when we're casting some Asian Counter-Strike, Mitch.
How many shots?
Yeah, take a shot every single time there's a tech pause. I reckon by map number 2, we'll be just on the floor.
I wouldn't be blasted, but I'd already be feeling it a little bit.
What do you mean? You have to have taken 10 shots by now, dude. There's
been like 6 or 7. I'll be 6 or 7 shots deep. I have some Mandarin soju still in the fridge. So
is that from the time that I got it, or
yeah?
Jesus, that's been there for the last couple of months.
It's soju, mate. It's all right.
Yeah.
It's just I drink more whiskey and gin and stuff than I do of soju and cider and whatnot. Soju is not something I'll crack out by myself.
No, that's for sure. Soju needs to be shared with friends. You can't just have it by yourself.
Yep.
Yeah, this is a bit of an extended one. Still waiting on the man of Too Easy Gaming, SK, to make his way back into the server. But if you just tuned in, they still have the 1-0 lead. They're up 5-1 on the CT side of Dust 2, which is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, you'd kind of be backing Too Easy to win this grand final probably, but this round in particular is kind of where it might start to swing back in the favor of Blaze. They've just broken the CT economy. This is where they can start to plug away on that T side, start to really get their round count up there and try to fight for this grand final, push their way through Dust 2 and get themselves towards Inferno.
All right, what should we go into next in terms of Counter-Strike facts? We had a discussion already about Cobblestone.
Dust. All right, Dust 2. I think of Kenny S and Guardian just gapping people through the door and wallbanging people through the door almost every round.
Yeah, I was going to say, speaking of which, it's like, I think there are more Dust 2 clips I remember from 1.6 and Source than I do of Global Offensive.
I think of that JKS play against Liquid on that A site where he's like acing them.
No, I can't remember.
That's
what I mean, see?
To be honest, it isn't even that like good of a clip or anything. It's just like, I think everyone was just happy that an Australian player did something. It's kind of just JKS playing how JKS plays. He's just isolating aim tools and playing smart angles and just punishing people for over peeking him and like 1v3ing or 1v4ing or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Our producer would have a lot of good stories about JKS. I can guarantee that.
True.
Yeah.
He's his dad, I think. So
almost, pretty much, yeah.
Stepdad. He said stepdad.
Oh, this is a bit of an extended pause. I think there was actually a pretty interesting... It's a joke yesterday, actually, or 2 days ago, that someone said in chat. I didn't know whether to take this seriously or not. I think someone asked me for one of the players' phone numbers so he could top up their mobile data. You still there, Mitch, or are you dead?
No, say again, sorry.
Did you just tune out after I explained all that? Jeez, thanks, man. Communication's a two-way street, mate.
Sorry, I must have dropped out like SK did. My bad.
Oh, understandable.
I'm back now. I'm back.
Do you want me to top up your mobile data? Just give me your number. I already have it.
Oh, really? Can you?
No, that was what one of the people in Twitch chat said to me yesterday.
They're going to top up your mobile data?
They'll top up one of the players' data so they won't have connection issues. I'm like, that's really kind of them. They just want to make sure the action's happening as well.
Yeah. I mean, as a player who played on 4G for a lot of my CS career, it's not ideal.
100 ping gamer?
The ping wasn't the issue. I feel like I would warp sometimes. I would just lose. It would just drop out, you know. Sometimes it just drops.
I remember playing a bit of COD 4 actually with 4G back in the day. That was interesting.
Oh, we've got people queuing up for toilet paper again in Perth. You love to see it. Just saw that on Twitter.
Well, it does look like a bit of an extended technical pause, so we'll give it a bit of a break for now. We'll just keep it on the game screen for this time, but enjoy some of the bangers. The best of, I guess, what I've been calling it. I don't know, Asian rap kind of background music. We'll get that playing for you guys as we'll head into a bit of a short break, but hopefully we'll be back soon. Hope you guys enjoyed the music. It wasn't me that made it, so don't blame me. Bit of extended pause, but it looks like we've managed to top up SK's data once again, and he's back into the action. I'm still joined by Pilski.
Barely hanging in there. The wide swinging mid is in full effect, and it does seem like the B push will be coming out here onto Nike, who does have Digalama in towards that car corner. SK over there as well to try to assist.
Oh, don't tell me is he moving? Yeah, he's moving. Thank goodness. Oh, he's still jittering around a little bit, which means there's no real crossfire. Nike's just fighting it out at this stage. Oh no, Paradox actually takes down SK. It was on the same angle. This is another one of those really messy rounds. All you really have to do is Raptors just back away for now. Just wait for your teammate to come forward. RVK is by himself right now. 1 on 2.
Gonna go retrieve that bomb. Many options open to RVK at this point. Both of these two CTs are quite low. And he's going to go for a bit of an adventure, a bit of a run through T-Spawn. So Kev, tell us your life story.
Is he's having a bit of a jog right now. I don't know if there's much about life and stories and whatnot. We're both discussing about what we wanted to do this year for esports.
Yep. The uncertainty is ripe.
I find it a peak level of irony, actually, that the most certainty I have right now in 2021 is water tanks. There's a certain level of I told you so to a lot of people, as SKs has dropped out once again.
It was just the other day I was watching a video where someone was yelling tanks is dead. So there you go.
There you have it.
Oh, we are going for this retake. Both of the AKs picked up. The double retake straight down the B ramp here. RVK taking a little bit of a duel, needs to be careful.
He's mollied off short here, and he's putting himself in a very, very strong position from this short area. Playing Gandalf. Boost should happen, and the question is whether or not the CT suspect that he's going to be over here at long, or if he's going to be over here at short. It's not really planned for him, but he actually threads the needle. HE grenade goes well enough. That's a clutch from RVK. They weren't expecting him over there. He bails Blaze out of a bit of a desperate situation. We're straight back onto the pauses, one would think.
Yay. We love the pauses.
There it is.
Wait, hang on. They don't have 3 timeouts remaining. Hold up. Who's refreshed their timeouts? Excuse me? Who used all their attack timeouts? Come on.
All right, let's take a look at this. I can't tell if this is cheap or not. Someone let me know. But apparently it's... I'm looking at Geophone plans right now. And apparently it's like 598 rupees for 56 days. You get 2 gigabytes a day.
That's enough to finish the grand final off.
Yeah, that's $10 Australian. $11. SK, send me your phone number. I'll top it up for you, mate. I'll slide it onto the credit card.
There you go. Producer Jim called it. He said 500 rupees.
There you are. This is a 4 on 5. That's a good flashbang. But there are 4 people only, which means that
you're gonna need more than a good flashbang.
Gonna need a 5th person backing here, to be honest.
Yeah, this is exactly what I asked about Wicked Gaming. I'm like, where's your substitute player?
Bit unfortunate, because like for too easy, that's kind of a...
Oh, he's back.
No, he's back. Yay!
Oh, you got him the phone plan. That was quick.
Yeah.
500 rupees. I think he can pay you back with his grand final or second place money.
Yeah, might come first still. Honestly, you look at the rounds that Too Easy went down in, it's been a couple of pistol rounds, so it's not that too consequential.
I would be requesting some interest on that, mate.
Yes, I'll request all of, you know what, he can have 2 rupees for free. How does that sound for interest? I don't know what the interest rates are over there right now. I'm a very generous man, I know.
Jesus. Well, you do have the buy through from the CTs. Utility is not good. John Dust 2 is not good because you can't fight long where Blaze are running and gunning. That is what you want, though. You want to be able to get that first pick and then just fall out. Recommitting, though. Spawn just retaking multiple angles. Could have just got 1 pick and gotten out, but now we're headed to a 3-on-3 where the CTs have no info and map control. They've lost long and they've lost catwalk. Flashbang onto the line, though. Could be good.
Yeah, but unfortunately, they just don't get the kills, and Marzil's possessed his way up short as well, which means that's a pretty clean shot down from there. Unfortunately for Paradox, he was in the right position, actually managed to swindle his way over towards Pit. Could have definitely brought it out and supported Spawn as he went back in for more AWP shots, but unfortunately he can't really pick off the first player there. So Too Easy. Not looking as clean as they did on that 5-0 start. And for Blaze, they're slowly and steadily making their way back into it.
Well, I kind of figured that would be the case, as when they're up 5-0, the money got pretty cooked. Oh, double dink comes out from Omkar. SK now doing his default dance. He's running up mid, but Ritz has well and truly seen that one before. He's seen those moves a couple of times.
Yeah, they know with the last CT as well. So this is good for Blaze, in all honesty. Last couple of rounds, they're building up a huge bank at the moment on a lot of their players. So if they lose an AK here or an AK over there, it's not going to be the end of the world. But if you lose any more than that, which they won't, could have been a bit more costly. But 5 apiece, here we are, back into the action. CTs will have a buy, but they have to get through a lot of money not right now.
Alrighty. Well, into a much better buy, but now Blaze have got very, very good money. Too easy now using their 5th or 6th tactical timeout, because I believe they had more earlier, but it got reset for some reason. Which already should be some kind of rulebook infringement.
Yep, there he goes again. Goodbye. I suspected that.
The fact that this has happened in multiple games, the only games, the 2 out of the 3 games that I've cast here in this region is worrying sign. Multiple top teams in India are having a tough time keeping 5 players connected to the server. That is not good stuff.
I don't know. Where do we go from here in terms of the topics of conversation? Not really much to talk about in the last couple of rounds in terms of Too Easy having to play 4 and 5 most of the time. Now having to play 4 and 5 in their gun round.
Oh,
He's back.
Got back
for now.
Can he buy? Oh, he just got the money. He just got the buy in time. The last second, got himself an ult, and he's straight back into peeking mid. The first thing he does as soon as he makes it back into the server is wide swing doors. Beautiful.
Gotta respect it. He's
control lost though.
Yeah.
They haven't taken catwalk yet though. This is actually terrible for the CTs. They don't have any cat control. They really need to go get cat control. Like right now.
I think they're just about to progress their way forward. SK will be smoked off by Raph, who does a pretty good job of hopping up.
Ooh. Great edge here, Nate. Now the fight on cat. CTs cannot afford to lose this catwalk control, or they are going to be in some big trouble.
Well, I mean, Spawn playing the most risky line that you'll see, and somehow gets away alive. Ritz cannot complete the spray. SK at close range as well, managing to make it work out. The Molotov and the flashbang from Paradox more than well enough to just make sure that players are blinded out. And Kara, yeah, he's got B-side, all for one glimpse of a second. But the bomb was never there, so what is the AWPer doing there?
I don't really know.
That was a scuffed round.
That was a very scuffed round. They got that long control. All they need to do is just utilize their util to take catwalk control, but unfortunately they couldn't win the trades end of the day. Maybe some of that util on Kara, who was still in B tunnels, could have given them a hand to successfully take that catwalk control. Not going to be the case though. Flash onto the line again. SK has a swing. Swing and a miss. No long control this time for Blaze either. Basel basically just barreling up catwalk by himself. Looks like he's disconnected from the server. So, oh, he's back.
He's back. Yep, just timed out for a little bit there.
Yep, just a little bit of a lapse. Just fell asleep. Bit of narcolepsy, perhaps. Maybe not an internet issue. Maybe I'm overreacting. Should probably go see a doctor, Marzel.
Dr. Internet. Oh, progression smoke. Bit of a gap for Marzel to see if he can prey on any unsuspecting CTs, but he drops down, spotted out by Omkar, which means that this should be a pretty big freebie. Mid B split comes, but there's no presence in B tunnels. And SK is here with the AWP.
Of course, the repeat comes through. Of course, surely it's only a matter of time. Takes more shots. He's going to connect at least one of them. Nike gets the other. And Kara, again, lurking AWP extraordinaire. Not really having a whole lot of impact this grand final.
Yeah, might be able to. No, misses that one. Nike decides where to drop. Goes outside where all of his teammates are. 30 seconds for Kara to try to isolate some of these angles, but he's slowly starting to lose time. Paradox is on the flank right now. There it is. CT peeks in from window. Keeps Kara interested. Paradox just going to clean it up with a nice little headshot at the end of the day. Not going to go too fancy with any knife kills. And there you have it. Bit of a strange half of Dust 2.
Very nice. Very cool. Bit of a half bite coming in for BL4ZE, trying to even up their money. Give themselves an outside shot at winning the round, but too easy. Already doing a great job. Spawn doesn't lose his life there. RVK getting flashed again. Nice HE nade to do a bit more damage. You don't need to fight this. It's too easy. Just forfeit long. Take some cat control, especially when you know your opponent's on a bit of a whack bite. Ritz is... What's he doing? Is he trying to break into the car?
He's waiting for the push. I think they saw one of the players pushing the lower arc. That was SK, but he's gone back and playing towards mid. That's a nice little shot from RVK, and Paradox overextending, trying to maybe get a bit more control towards long, but the reality of the situation is that he's gifted a lot of control over right now to BL4ZE.
Yeah, very unnecessary peeking those kind of angles. Much better for what SK's doing. Swinging on the site, getting multiple chances against players with just deagles. Makes it look easy as you like, because it is easy. Long range shots with an AWP like that. No utility purchased up at all from the T side. So not really a whole lot of difficulty swinging into no flashes, no smokes. And just point and click advantage.
Still makes it look fantastic though, you have to admit.
Oh yeah. Looks good. Punching down against a bunch of people with pistols. You love to see it.
But you've also seen Orpus from that position just miss every single shot and get overwhelmed, and you just go, oh, I don't know about that. So,
but SK, he's built different. Got to remember that.
Well, always peering into mid, looking to take a fight. Now, BL4ZE looking to take short control.
Get it. They've lost long control though, and SK's got to pick on Takara on Cat as well, so trying to navigate a 3-on-5. Easy shot for Spawn. These double AWPs are worth their weight in gold right now for 2 easy, winning them this grand final. It's a 5-0 sweep in round number 14. And that's going to put BL4ZE in a terrible money situation heading into this last round. 3K across the board on all of their players. That's not where you want to be.
You have to look at it holistically as well. Like, the question in my mind is always going to be, if SK was in that server and there wasn't any tech issues for that long period of time, could this have been even a more one-sided kind of half? The game's not over just yet, mind you.
Realistically,
jeez.
Beautiful. Realistically, like, N5 is already good. So I wouldn't be complaining too much. Very unnecessary push. It's going to work. Ships in the night. Oh, never mind. Missed the timing a little bit. The panic spray. Loses his life. Loses long control. This gives BL4ZE an in this round.
Oh my goodness, Omka just peeks it. Finds a couple of members over here. Spawn actually goes in. It's SK as well as Spawn getting a couple of warp kills. And now Kara only has a scout a long distance. Well, Spawn was tagged down earlier on. SK now taking the higher ground as well as the round.
Nicely done. 10-5, very one-sided scoreline on that CT side of Dust 2. Usually you'd like to see it the other way around. Like to see a bit of a dominant T side. Now too easy, going to be able to roll with that T side on their map pick, and I'd say For the most part, the style that they showcased on Overpass T side should kind of prevail on Dust 2, if you ask me. Just some simplistic utility usage going in with the boys. Simplistic map control. That's exactly what you want, as well as mixing in a little bit of individual aggression. That's T-Side Dust 2 in a nutshell. Basic protocols to take that map control, simple util aggression. That's what you need. Smoke on to mid to B from outside of long doors. Not going to be used. Instead, it's just a flash in towards doors and now a collapse towards this A site. But they've used all their utility making their way to Cat. Only Marcel on the site, though.
Yeah, we saw some fantastic stuff from him in Overpass, and he started off well again. Once again, getting the headshot, but he's tagged down very low. He's still able to fight on 1 HP. None of the T's can just take him out at the end of the day. And Nike is just going, I don't know. You're going to have to peek this one first, SK. SK trying to find that kill right now. Just nothing to be found right now for any of the T's. They just can't land the shots. It's down to SK once again. Well, at least there's finally one kill there, but I feel like I've saw that before on Overpass. We've seen it again.
Well, that is always going to be a bit difficult when you use the majority of your util to just try to get in position to push the site. And then no flashes to be able to aid you to get up catwalk or anything like that. Can definitely have some difficulties taking duels with those CTs with the USPs on the long range angles. Long control for too easy, just the one flash to get them out there.
Nice couple of HE grenades just to put a stop in their tracks for now. It should be a pretty good shooting gallery, honestly, for some of these CTs, but that flash goes a bit, I would say, awry for some of the CTs. And there's another one that's gone a little bit astray. Actually, this round was started off by a bit of a failed short boost coming out from the CTs. Then they decide to go fight long.
Only one gun being lost so far, though. He's just chilling around.
Paradox going to be wide strafing out, but Ritz, nice little shot coming out from SK, who's only on 2 HP. Should be cleaned up there, though, so the M4 retrievable from the CTs. Only light investment from the Ts, so they might decide to go for the AKs in this one. Not too much utility backing this up.
See if the T side can work out 4 too easy on their first gun round. Blaze got a lot of control though. Already one player deep in long hut. That's a lot of info for Ritz. Too easy. Getting ready for this B push, but 2 players already very close to the smoke.
Comes down to timing at this stage. The trade's there for 1. But unfortunately, that's actually a really good Molotov timing. There's actually a team kill on the side of Too Easy. Stalled by Marzil. There should be another grenade coming forward and is doing some further damage. The player now posted over there at window, ready for the crossfire when needed. Might not even be needed at the end of the day, but SK, down to 6 HP, will be able to cross the safety. Just going to drop the smoke close. Knows that the CT is going to be nearby. And Ritz is giving SK a lot of respect right now. 50 seconds left on the timer. He's just going to wait for the smokes to fade before going back in for the bomb plant. Needs to go for it eventually. As Ritz is thinking about maybe just posting here on lower dark, maybe catching him off rotation, but SK is very interested right now in just maybe trying to find the timing of a CT pushing forward from doors.
You can find the timing.
He will not be able to. Can't fault him for that. Man's already done enough getting 2 kills there. Needed one of the other individuals from Too Easy to step up, but they fall prey, should I say, to the smoke at close B tunnels. Slowly and steadily, Blaze making their way back in, but the problem is it's very costly these rounds.
Yeah, very costly. Not to mention the fact that they got a lot of info pretty early on with that long doors push.
I mean, that was the problem we did see yesterday from Too Easy, was that they actually do push very early on, all together. They don't really take good default control, which is the issue. As Paradox is trying to chip in from the Deagle over here at short, but they've lost this long control already, smoked off deep as well. SK only good for 1 this time around.
If they can get 1 or 2 more kills with those pistols, actually could make a pretty big difference. You can see CT money is not really built up too much at the moment. Oh no. Ritz has left that B bomb side though, but there's no smoke for door, which means that the cross is going to be quite troublesome with the flipped doors nowadays. Good defense from Blaze. 4 guns up. That's what you want to be seeing. That's a money building round. That's something they really struggled to do on Overpass for the most part, actually. On that CT side, always very close rounds. 1 or 2 players surviving, Kev.
Yeah.
But this time, 4 players up in the anti-eco. That's really going to give them a big hand trying to pull through this game of Dust 2 and keep themselves in this grand final.
I think with Too Easy as well, just need to take this default control a lot stronger. Smoke's going to come onto bedroom doors. Not really interested in bedroom. It's just going to be Marzel pushing fast up, but covered off by Omkar, who's ready and waiting for a bit of aggression in this round. They still got Lower Dark being covered off as well, mind you. So not too one-dimensional this time around from Too Easy. I like this approach much better. Raph might be caught out at this stage. Nike, though, not expecting the push from Lowers.
Oh, really, really good round so far from Too Easy. But Ritz, now the push into Lower Dark, does find a pick. Oh, the dinks from Kari. You saw them lighting up there. But he can't convert it. Spawn loses his life. Ritz on that A1S. I've seen him be very sharp with this weapon. It's not outside the realms of possibility that he's able to win this round. He does have a Molotov to flush them off the site as well.
Oh, he's pushed really deep as well. Both teams playing together right now. I mean, one does make the cross. That's going to be SK Smoke. Thrown onto site. Molly, though, comes out at the wrong time as Omkar decides he's waited long enough. Nice little round from him, a 3-piece there. Did get scrappy towards the end. Spawn missing a few sitters there with the AWP. Can't be missing those as the T-side AWPer.
Well, very difficult buy being put together from Blaze. AWP on Kara, but a handful of Famises and MP9s is not where you want to be at. You do not want to be lacking util either. Makes the long control quite hard. They use their utility pretty effectively. That was all of their util used there. Just to take that long doors control, but that is a very important thing to have. Marzel sees a lot of players in mid, almost loses his life darting across there, and Too Easy now extending their emphasis and control through middle up catwalk. That's Spawn, a big pick for Ritz. Absolutely massive. Throws caution to the wind for the T's, actually.
Need to see some good flashbangs as well as progression smokes, but only 2 flashbangs over here in SK. Needs to make sure he blinds Kara off this angle. Over here at CT as well is going to be Goomba Stomps. Paradox is going to hear that. And the flashbangs, well, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. It's just Paradox opening it up with some raw mechanics.
Very sharp shooting. Retake with the Famis is not going to be happening. Nike, another very, very sharp AK headshot. And he's going to close it out as well. Oh, never mind. RVK. Always sharp on those rifles. Picks up the AK now.
Three-way crossfire as SK misses that spray. Omka, though. A repeat from the last round at A ramp. Peeks up, gets the trade. Big round there coming out from Paradox, who's been a bit quiet so far this series, but that's definitely a highlight round for sure.
Well, that's a reset on Blaze's economy. they are running out of opportunities to try to keep themselves in this grand final. They will have to take a save here. Next buy won't be that great. 4 to 4.5k, around that sort of amount. So that's not going to be any AWPs. Very limited util. They're going to fight long here. Spawn on the line does find a pick and manages to get out of there.
Rifle is coupling them off this time, though, which means that the CTs, they dart in for a little bit, then they decide to flip back out. Meanwhile, Paradox making a bit of a play over there through CT, loses that duel against RVK. So an AK now, bit of an opportunity to continue the killing spree. As that's a nice little jump from Ritz.
Well, AK picked up for RVK. Honestly, wouldn't be too bad of a save considering the state of the economy for BL4ZE Esports.
Might even be able to upgrade this to an AWP. Look at Spawn's position at this stage. He's exposed over here to T-Spawn as... Oh, no, RVK.
An AWP would be massive to pick up. Not going to be something they're going to be able to afford. Although RVK with this couple of kills might actually have the money to be able to do so. It would only be like glass cannon or something, but especially if he gets one more.
Unfortunately, he can't.
He can afford glass cannon thanks to those couple of kills, but I'm not sure that's something that he's going to be wanting to go for. No, just go straight for the M4. So this is a pretty sad buy for BL4ZE Esports. Not great util. No Molotovs, makes it very hard to secure long A control, makes it very hard to shut down B rushes.
Only one kit to work with as well. MP9 on the hands of Marzel, who decides to take a bit of an L for the team to get the kit. We'll see if that comes into play later on this round. As Paradox fast out through long, CTs just cannot contest it.
Don't have the util to. They're going to play heavy towards mid and cat with just the one player on B. And you can't really blame them, to be honest. Don't mind Marzel taking a bit of a peek, looking for some info there. Honestly, would have kind of liked the lower dark push. Because realistically, what does BL4ZE Esports have to work with in this round? They've got no map control. They've got no long. All they've got is catwalk right now. And they've got a massive utility disadvantage. So too easy. I actually don't mind them just going towards long and doing a long execute onto the site. Get that CT and cat smoke out. Get some flashes high over the top of car, and you cook them with gas. I guess they're just going to throw the wall of smoke across, though, which is totally fine as well.
Wall of smoke's coming out. Molly onto quad as well. That's going to push Kara off position. The flashbangs are good from both parties. Kara's still alive. Still able to at least grab one from there. Nice little kill onto Paradox, but eventually going to be traded out. CT's locked behind smoke. Ritz maybe looking for a bit of an opportunity. Maybe boosting up Marzul over here to deny the bomb plant. And it's going to be denied for now. Nice little swing around to SK as well to deny that car player on guard. Shouldn't be fighting this, but he gets the headshot. But they're just losing members left, right, and center without the bomb
Bombs dropped
plant.
at elevator. Bombs dropped CT ramp. Spawn's going to have to contest that with an AWP. He has to try and go pick up the bomb. He's only got 10 seconds left. He doesn't have time for it, Kev. He's got to save.
That's a big round coming out from Marzul.
Huge, huge round.
The money isn't too crash hot for some of the members and too easy as well, so they're going to be burning through some of that saved over cash to make sure everyone's got what they need for this round. I mean, you can say the same for Blaze, though. I don't think the money situation's any better. You could argue it's actually far worse. But they have the utility to work with.
Long control does come out, and Spawn is going to lose his life. So nicely done from Blaze. Starting to put the T side through their paces, even with somewhat lacking in terms of the util, in terms of the weaponry sometimes. They're still keeping this close. Mid to B coming out in the 4 and 5 now. RVK as well as Ritz going to be tested over towards the B side. But these are two of the sharper riflers on Blaze.
Kara taking a lot of damage. SK, though, not aware of what's going on. What is this round that's happening at this stage? I mean, Omka's managed to make his way into sight, but the site has not been cleared by any members of Too Easy. SK is just looking in, I don't know which direction there.
Their money's broken now.
Yep.
This is a massive inroads in for BL4ZE. They've got a good buy across the board. They've finally got access to some utility. They can go into an anti-eco here and actually try to build up some cash. They're actually really putting together an opportunity for themselves to come out ahead on Dust 2 here. This is what they really lacked on Overpass. They could just never get their money control right. And now, finally, they've got control of the money. They've finally got comfortable. Let's see if they can ensure that they can close it out here.
Paradox, though, looking to make a bit of a play right now. RVK will, oh my goodness, won't be traded out. Nice little flick shot. That could have been the B site loss, 3-on-3. But that's a recovery and a half right now as Omka's just unable to really get this kill. That's just raw adjustment from RVK. Fantastic series once again from him. Really the danger man right now for BL4ZE.
Buy through for too easy. Glass cannon for spawn, so we won't have access to the armor or the util. Smoke onto Xbox, but Marzel chucking a smoke deep mid, trying to keep too easy on their toes about whether there is or is not a mid push here. He's kind of been a bit annoying for them. Going for that peek into lower dark. Does win the duel onto Omkar and even continues to push forward. So this is really kind of being a thorn in the side of too easy. Spawn's got a knife out. He's just going to die for free. Marzel winning this game here for BL4ZE Esports. Too easy just really don't have an answer to this at all. All they've got is catwalk control, but they're completely surrounded.
They just fight this out the hard way, which is just through guns talking. The problem is the entries may not be working for them, especially in this corner as well. Kara misses a bit of a sitter there. Given the second opportunity, we'll work that in tandem with Raf as well to make sure the A site's held on quite well. Don't know about that from Spawn. This AWP is not a good investment so far for this T side. I would argue, actually, it's been a horrible waste of money. I don't remember a single round where this AWP's actually had impact.
Yep, have to say the same. Now, too easy. Really up there in terms of the loss bonus. Can't put together a buy this round, but will be able to half buy, which gives them an outside shot at winning one of these rounds. But I mean, considering this is their map pick, they really don't look very comfortable on the T side right now. Doesn't really look like they've got much of a game plan going for them. And with how big of a lead they had coming into this half, a failure to close out this game on the T side and win this grand final would be very sad to see. Push out mid. Was getting dangerous there for BL4ZE for a minute, but RVK has got Marzel covered off nicely. And then the push straight through long from Ritz. Let's close that round out, and although it got dicey, a couple players got low, 5 players survived for BL4ZE, which is basically going to cement their economy for the rest of this game. They got almost 10k on all of their players. Too easy, running out of opportunities here.
I'll say, yeah, the opportunities. They had a couple of rounds where they could have really taken them. But the same problems I saw yesterday on Dust 2 in terms of their attack being too one-dimensional, we're seeing it again. They're trying to charge fast out through long. Where's the supportive utility to help fight this? There's absolutely none whatsoever. The CT is just completely unblinded. Of course it's going to be an absolute killing spree right now for Ritz, as he's going to try and change out weapons. And, I mean, shots being exchanged back and forth to make it back onto this 2-on-2. A bit of a game of truth in, well, who can hold their nerve a little bit more. It's going to be Kara that's going to win it, and Paradox now put in a very awkward position where he has to cross out through the open. Will be spotted out by RVK, who actually doesn't fire. Kara knows exactly where he's coming in from now.
Yeah. Molotov's off the bomb. He's going to smoke it and actually pick it up. That's a pretty good use of the util to be able to secure that bomb control. Drops a nade behind it as well. He's going to be able to get back towards the site. Kara losing a little bit of HP. Paradox now trying to go across. Will be minded potentially by CT, but the timing's not right there for RVK. Now Molotov onto Cat. Will create the space for Paradox to put the bomb down. He checks Gandalf first though. There is an opportunity here. Both of these CTs split up. He could isolate 2 duels here and win this round, Paradox.
Is he going to check CT though? That's a problem. I don't think Shadow was spotted out, so he's going to clear out short first. It's not the problem though, is that I don't think this is planted for short. He needs to get this kill on the cross. In the position to do so. Flash Doesn't matter at the end of the day, because Kara just hits a nice little shot, stays alive on 1 HP. That nade just went a little bit more shallow. That could have been a clutch situation, but you can't, once again, you can't blame Paradox for that. He did his best in an untenable situation. And for 2easy, now they're up against 2 match points. Blaze now in with a real chance of making it Inferno the decider.
Yeah, Bomb Plant and the loss bonus does give them another full buy here, though, so it's not completely out of the realms of possibility that this could be into overtime for 2easy, but unlikely at this point. Let's be real. Their T side has had very limited success against the full buys out of the CT side, excuse me. Long control does come out here for Paradox. Blaze still looking to contest, though. Finally do give it up. Going to start to make their way back towards Catwalk and take control over there. Smoke onto Xbox. Does seem like 2easy. Just want to keep things simple in this round. Go back for this Catwalk control. Raf on the aggression, though, just runs out, takes that duel. Lot of info, 1 kill and a whole lot of damage onto SK is fantastic for Blaze here. Nice little AWP angle from Kara as well. They're doing a great job defending this one. Nade follow-up. Oh, my lord.
All down to Spawn right now, who's managed to make a couple of these entries work. He's just going to tap it once to see if he can maybe find one of these players, but you can see Marzel aware of the danger right now. It's going to be actually RBK wrapping all the way out through long. And the bomb plant, not going to be spotted just yet. A tap shot made, another one from the CT. Now Spawn has a molly to work with, but he tries to go for the fight. It's not going to work against RBK, who's arguably been sharper the entire series. And we are going to be going into Inferno, another 16-13. As the opponents, they make it close as close can be. But Inferno is going to be our decider, and this is going to be a very interesting one now for the Grand Finals.
Yeah, just a failure to really get anything done on that T side. The CT side looked pretty excellent, despite the disconnecting issues. A 10-5 lead on your CT side when you're already at 1-0 in the Grand Final on your map pick. That is basically the Grand Final on a silver platter, but they just couldn't get anything done on that T side. I don't know if it was a bit of nerves or whether it was a lack of a game plan. End of the day, though, Blaze do stay alive and push it through to a third map, similar to yesterday against Wicked, just hanging on by their fingernails. And we will be seeing who's going to win this Grand Final fairly soon.
Yeah, still need to crown a victor after this for map number 3. I have to say, though, for 2easy, that Dust 2, very reminiscent of what I saw yesterday. Their T side, no game plan. Yesterday, same thing today. No real game plan, no real trades. Flashbang's not covering off the right angles.
Not something you can have happen on Inferno, though, and it is often a third map decider for a lot of these series, so going to have to get all their ducks in a row and have a chat about the game plan. Utility is king on Inferno, so no misplaced flashbangs will be allowed, or you'll be finding yourself out of $500.
Well, we'll have to see who takes it just after this break. It is going to be Inferno the decider. Don't go anywhere.
Athletes are always challenging themselves to get better. You've seen this in all sports. Esports is no exception. You can never predict the outcome. The only thing you can control is how ready you are. Over and over, players adapt, trying to improve, fighting hard for every percent gained. Give everything you've got to the challenge. and show your finest. Bring your best out. Strive for perfection. It's our goal too.
Taiwan excellence empowers innovation in everyone's life. We keep moving forward to a wonderful tomorrow, dreaming amazing dreams and living fuller lives, everywhere, every moment, every day. Taiwan excellence, everyday excellence.
It's only fitting that we're over here into map number 3, the decider for the series. Once again, joined by my good mate Pilsky over here, taking us through the action of Inferno between Blaze as well as Too Easy. Some would say not so easy, and Blaze definitely coming a little bit more alive towards the end of that second map there.
Yeah, once they switched over to that CT side and got control of their bunny, there was very little that Too Easy could do about it, to be honest. They just had no game plan on that T side, could not really get across the line, and some of the confidence started to roll on some of those players on Blaze. You know, I feel like Marzel, RVK, Ritz, when these boys are starting to field a little bit, that's when Blaze is looking a lot more scary. You know, Raf is always pretty consistent. Kara, so far, pretty quiet grand finals from him. But I feel like the key really lies in, for the most part, Ritz and Marzel and to some extent RVK as well, just having some big impact for Blaze to pull this one across the line. And again, it's going to be the CT side for Blaze here to start things off. So let's see if they can get money control, because a lot of these pistols being won by Too Easy Gaming so far in this grand final, which has made it a little bit difficult. It's a bit like playing CS on a hard mode. Marzel soloing that A bomb site. The rest of the boys grouped up towards B here for Blaze. Too Easy holding in T spawn. Only one of them fighting T stairs, waiting to see if anyone spots second mid. Marzel only then just having a peek, but I'm not sure he saw very much.
Still posted on this boiler angle. That's going to be 3 Ts coming his way. He's really been the wonder kid so far with the USP, but needs to back away. Rotation should be called out very soon. Needs to bail out. Might be caught in transition at this stage. Needs to stay his ground and fight, but it's going to be the Ts coming out through apartments that are going to just completely wipe him off the A site, and it's going to have to be a retake. And here lies the problem. The CTs don't have any utility to work with right now.
Yeah,
they gamble stack towards B. It failed.
Went for 5 Kevlar, gambled towards B, exactly like you said. And when that A defender goes down with conceding too much ground without gathering that much info, it's going to be quite difficult to complete a retake.
Well, it's going to come down to the first couple of shots over here, but it looks like SK more than happy to make sure that the CTs are warned away. Nike trying to dance around, but unfortunately, Dancing Shoe's not working well enough. And at the end of the day, Raf is just caught in a pretty much unbreakable crossfire. Too many of his teammates just couldn't get themselves into the right position, and Too Easy, another pistol round.
Definitely keeps this relatively close. Blaze are going to go for that second round buy, which is something we see pretty regularly on Inferno. A lot of close angles to be utilizing, a lot of choke points you could smoke off, and HE nades quite effective on this map as well. So we'll see if they find any luck with that.
There's a first smoke grenade, but Kara holding close, and then MP9 does pretty well. He's also spotted that shadow of another one, but he doesn't have enough bullets left inside the clip to make it work out. So already the force buy from Blaze actually working and paying dividends, as Too Easy just try to shove their way down the throat of mid.
Yeah, not something I've seen very often from a anti-eco round, to just basically run straight up middle, and I think there's a reason for that you're seeing there. AK recovered by Marcel now. Raf on the line with the scout could get some damage off, and he will hit Omkar as well. And he's going to concede the B bomb side, but realistically, a 4-on-3 retake with an AK in tow, 2 of these Mac 10 players low. Basically, SK has to have a massive round to keep Too Easy in here.
And Marzel boosts it up, finds one transitioning away. Waiting for the re-aggression from SK, as SK is going to be the one that has to make it work right now with the AK-47. Omkar already so low, back of sight, reveals his presence, and I'd say that this is an almost unwinnable scenario. Even though Raf tries to give him a helping hand by tagging Ritz.
Again,
Big
the
force by
T-side.
victory.
T-side and the fundamentals not there for Too Easy. That is not how you want to be running an anti-eco at all on Inferno. You really need to go and use your utility to take that banana control, then maybe try to push them off bracket and just group up and hit something together. Try to stall out some of those smokes in the second round that you see from the buys, not try to just go straight up the guts into jungle. Well, after all said and done, Too Easy, gonna have to take a single save. SK goes through his Deagle Armor as well as Paradox, as both of them did have a little bit more cash than the rest of the team. Nice HE nated the second mid onto spawn, and Omkar does chunk down a fair bit of damage out of their HP pool.
Deagles definitely can create some danger right now. Paradox, if he clears this corner, which he will, but unfortunately just can't land the shots. That could have been a pick, even though there was a SMG ready for the trade. RVK very lucky to escape away at the end of the day, and now it looks like Kara is sick right now of being bullied out of the series. He says he can be a grand final player as well that can get some stats, and there you have it. Nice little start for him this time around. I think that's the same amount of kills he got in Overpass.
Yeah, very nice. If he steps up, that might be the key to victory for Blaze. Too Easy, again, kind of overspending in a round where they get absolutely nothing done means that they have no utility on their T-side gun round, which is not good. Inferno, you really need util. Only Paradox has full util there, so it's just not going to cut it. This is a really good way to throw $500 straight in the bin.
SK's just going to... Well, he should have gone down there. He's stuck in between a rock and a hard place. He's somehow still alive. Finally going to go down now. RVK, even surviving there, able to get out alive. Scot-free. Not Kara, though, who goes a little bit aggressive with the MP9, trying to hunt for something. Gets punished for it.
That's good stuff. Decent util and a man advantage, though, for Blaze, and they are leaning towards the right side of the map. Marcel getting full information on B, just peeked top of Banana, so Blaze going to feel pretty comfortable about playing 3 towards this A side. Oh, a bit of an off timing for Ritz there, gets caught off guard, and now a wrap around the world into CT spawn, trying to split towards B. Nice kill for Nike.
Oh, Marzel just shouldn't have been caught in no man's land over there. Timing was completely off as Ritz... Don't know if he was aware to the threat that they can be coming in through CT spawn, but it doesn't look like he was aware of that danger.
Plant for CT with a player at new box, and there's no smoke for CT spawn on these players retaking through Banana. So this looks pretty good for Too Easy Gaming.
Has to be a good molly from Raf to push one of them out. Just gonna go into Garden. That's at least one angle neutralized. RVK, though, just can't win that fight at the end of the day. Against Spawn, who's just staying alive for now. Raf trying to get out alive, but the T is going to be hunting down. And instantly, Too Easy do manage to strike back pretty much, keeping things equal for now. But I would argue that's not on the back of some fantastic play. That's on the back of a couple of fundamental errors coming out from Blaze.
I would agree. Yeah, Ritz kind of overfacing towards Library there with a grenade out. Marcel gets caught in the middle of nowhere over towards B as that B site solo player rather than playing for time and baiting time for that rotates to come in through the A site. He instead faces it in the open and loses his life for free. Now a much worse buy coming out for Blaze. Very little util for them. Just 5 smoke grenades on this CT side. That is absolutely it they'll have to work with. Too Easy already securing that carpet control. Fighting Banana, but SK is just going to wide peek Marcel and lose his life for free. Maybe not expecting there to be an AWP in this round. Now the smoke up onto half wall, trying to cut Marzel's angles down so that Too Easy can go and take that banana control. Marzel trying to jump up onto the half wall. Does find an angle over the smoke, so he maintains that control. That means that they could still 4-stack this A-bomb site. Too Easy are doing absolutely nothing right now. They're sitting in T-stairs. They have no bracket control. They just have one in carpets. What are they doing?
Is
they need to get a rig
out?
Have they?
Oh, he's just lining up for his smoke. No, there it is. There's a flashbang to push him off the half wall. Marzel eventually forced off. Actually going for the re-peek. Balls of this man to be fighting at this stage, but he just needs to bail out. Rotations not coming from the CT side as Paradox just anchoring them right now. And Marzel, he's just going, I've spotted the bomb, guys. Where's the rotation? They finally deal with Paradox, but a chance now for Too Easy to work with.
I'd say Marzel's done a pretty good job. He's still got ruins and con control there. Knight just kind of going to try and walk through the CT smoke and try to make a play, but Ops not to. They're both just playing in no man's land. They're both fighting main and they just lose their lives. There was no attempt at setting up for a post plant. They both just walked into the open in main rather than playing a crossfire or trying to take some con control. And Blaze complete a fairly easy retake because they're just able to fire on the T's from literally every angle there.
I have to say, Paradox definitely gave it a pretty good crack for Too Easy in terms of anchoring 3 CTs over there. Marzel staying alive for sure, but definitely a window of opportunity that Too Easy could have grabbed. Unfortunately, it doesn't really work out for them.
Now the
And
half
back
buy
into
on
the
the
eco, yeah.
pistols. Could have some impact. Blaze money is still not great, and economy control is the difference between a scary Blaze and a Blaze that's a little easier to deal with. Very quick B rush onto the site.
Uh-oh, Marzel's missed a couple over here. They're smoking off CT. There's a lot of CTs ready for the rotation right now. They're going to have to see the flashbang, but unfortunately Marzel was just tagged down way too low before. All it took was a couple of shots for it to work out at the end of the day. Knight trying pushing through the CT smoke. RVK has butchered pretty much that entire clip. Now it's a 2-on-3 though, as Kara's managed to push his way through, denied the bomb plant. They're going to have to fight it out. All down to SK at this stage. He's got the AWP in play. It's going to be Kara with the drive-by with the MP9. Retrieves the AWP as well. Could have been a very dangerous round, but somehow the rifle's very scrappy, able to bring it back at the end of it.
Again, with the Tech 9 armor, they've kind of overspent, and they do not have money for utility. All of them going AK armor. Somebody needs to tell Too Easy that 3.7k is not the amount that you actually want to be aiming for. It's more like 4.5k, especially on Inferno. You can't just buy 5k AKs and armor and expect to win a round of Inferno. Like, this is insanity. He's just running through a Molotov. How is he getting away with that?
Did it at the end of the day. As Paradox not expecting the repeat coming out from Raf. Just individual fights erupting all over the place. If you come here for action-paced Counter-Strike, you're getting it.
It's an absolute mess. After all said and done, though, not too bad for Too Easy Gaming. And they're just going to walk through another smoke. They just walk through a smoke into top of banana. Oh, my lord.
No utility. They just have to go out and take the contact. It works because they draw Ritz off the angle, but Ritz iron swings a little bit. They're still trying to take the fights at this stage, and eventually Spawn is going to come out on top. 2-on-2. CT is very separated from each other as Raf needs to get his joggers on, start making a bit of a move over. He's got the full belt of utility pretty much to work as smoke, flashbang, and molly.
Decent setup. Main and coils. Umkar getting pre-fired a little bit, but Kara's able to get nothing done. 1v1 now between Raf and Umkar's just going to swing. He's won that one for Too Easy. Nice little 2k for him. That has reset the money for Blaze. An absolutely insane round from Too Easy. I do not know what the hell is going on, Kev.
Oh,
they are swinging every angle simultaneously, running through smokes and Molotovs non-stop, and after all said and done, Blaze miss enough shots for them to win the round.
I have to say towards the end there, I feel like that was a very poorly played retake. All Kara needed to do is just kind of wait. You can smoke off CT, you can molly off connector, and throw a couple of nice flashbangs and definitely assist your retake a lot better. Now forced into a bit of a force buy. Nice little chunky HE grenade. Marzel is going to be mollied off. And M4, Ritz is looking at it with longing. He'll never get his hands on it.
Well, they're going to try and force their way into B. Flash over the top of New Box does set up a Ritz, but he's only got a P250. What can he hope to achieve with that? Kara at least has him covered as Omkar tries to swing across and trade it out. Now with the man advantage here. Again, the swing is covered from Spawn. Nicely done from Kara. The flashbang as well as the supportive work with that 5-7. He gets a 4K. Too easy. They just keep swinging. They just keep trying to swing the guy New Box. I can't believe it.
Yep. And when they're swinging and they're missing and they're stuck between a crossfire, it's going to pay off dividends for players, especially on that force bite.
Kara has just got a P250, a 5-7, and Brits has got a P250, and the AK armor players are just one at a time swinging with their back to coils, not peeking together, not trying to clear out the angles, not using any util, just literally swinging one at a time with their back to a player with a 5-7. That's unbelievable. For a decider in a grand final, Kev, that is insanity.
I was going to say, they didn't check coffins, and we'll see if that comes back to bite them. Yep.
Well, here's the force buy again for Too Easy. Just going to try and deagle armor their way out of a bad situation with 3 grenades total across their whole team. Meanwhile, Blaze running all the protocols that you'd want to see. But again, it's working out for them because, hey, just hit shots, forehead. SK runs up the top of Banana, grabs himself an AK and a smoke.
Trying to utilize that one way, but Ritz,
Jesus.
yeah.
He's just going to walk through the side of a smoke in a 5-on-4.
Nice nail on Takara. There's a bit of a crossfire for him to work with. As the trade's much better this time around for Too Easy, as Blaze kind of offer them up on a platter a little bit. Omka straight to taking connector control and straight to just holding on to it as well. Rausch just left scratching his head. Might be made into Portuguese chicken soon if he's not careful, especially with his crossfire right now between Too Easy. And a Glil fighting that is never going to win against 2 AKs. It's just back and forth in these buy rounds so far.
The pistol force buy works out.
Another day, Pilly's molding.
I don't even know what I'm watching. But I can tell you that Too Easy Gaming are pretty far ahead now. They've reset the money of Blaze yet again. They are about to even up the scoreline at 5 apiece if they can complete an anti-eco. And at least they have grenades. They finally have grenades. Will they use them? No. SK is just running up Banana, taking fights again.
Oh, Raf's been spotted out. How many people can he take down? There's actually 2 kills. That's 2 AKs right now. Now they're going to be walking straight into New Box, and they can't get rid of the New Box player this time around, though. There's a Molotov and Nike. He could have thrown it at any time. Decides to go for the fight instead. Tanks are pretty much a full belt of, or pretty much a full clip of damage. Kara a bit enthusiastic over there, but definitely a winnable 2-on-3 right now. No utility, though, for the CTs to work with.
Well, all they need to do is just hold the crossfires. Don't swing. At least they're doing that.
Well, there's one aspect being broken, but nice little shot coming out from Nike. As RVK reads that peak perfectly, but time is ticking away. And just enough time has been bought. RVK, no time for the defuse. Very costly round. At least Too Easy to grab that one, but... Jeez, definitely an opportunity.
Against the full eco, comes down to a 1v1 again. That is taking a big toll on Too Easy's economy, and I would say that that matters, but I know that it doesn't. Because even if they have money for grenades, they won't be using them.
So does buy armor and Eagle. Get headshots, lol.
Yeah. That's good for Blaze, though. That gives them a little bit of extra cash and extra M4 as well. Never hurt anyone. SK again, just knife out, charging straight up Banana. There's no Molotovs to stop him or slow him down. Again, he's just given a 1v1.
Yep.
I cannot believe what I'm watching. Ralph is just shoulder peek with his knife out. I do not understand.
All right, finally SK gets punished for maybe just going a little bit too deep and too hard. But the rest of the T's, they're barreling up through Diggity right now. Double pit setup. Ralph's going to deploy the smoke nice and early on. Molotov's going to be extinguished as RVK heads down. Thumbs up play, though, as he pretty much just ruins most of the T's coming forward. Nike, last man left standing.
Great crossfire. T's just trying to force their way up dig with no util. Double peak crossfire just rips them apart. That's what you love to see. Nice little one-way from Raf. RVK, multi-frag on the headshot angle. 10 out of 10. Would watch again.
You reckon we're going to see a 4-spy coming out from Too Easy?
Two of them are double eco. This would be the only round where it kind of makes a little bit of sense.
And it's a tech pause. It's everyone's favorite.
Just need some Benny Hill music at this point.
It's like Counter-Strike Jeopardy, but with tech pauses. At least this time around, with the tech pauses, we're sitting at the comfort of our own home as opposed to inside a studio, which I don't know makes it. Yes?
I thought you bought SK some data.
Looks like it's run out already. We know Counter-Strike. It's a very data-intensive game.
Come on, Kev. Have you got another 600 rupees to dish out?
Oh, I'll whip out the credit card just for SK, my favorite wide swinging player since somebody.
Please. Let's
just
keep 5 players in the server, please.
I think the easiest way to describe SK is that he's treating this like how I treat some of my matchmaking games at lower levels, just with utter contempt in terms of his opposition. He's just going, I'll just kill him.
Yeah, actually, I actually can't believe it. I wonder if he communicates with his team at all, really, or is he just that player that I get in some of my Valorant games that just doesn't talk on the microphone the whole game and just W's out?
Yeah, but this guy is he's the kid that he's communicating. Just you're not understanding him. He's not your omen inside your ranked games as putting smokes inside the ground.
Well, we are awaiting a T side to complete the bare minimum requirement of a game of Counter-Strike to have 5 players ready to play. It's a tough one.
That's what you think, but after 13 minutes, it goes down to 4 players being required to play.
In a grand final.
Yep.
Never thought you'd see the day.
I don't know. Has anyone told SK maybe to consider downloading better internet? That's what I did.
You can't connect. How can you fix your internet to download more internet if you can't connect to the internet? It's a conundrum.
Indeed. Conundrum that we unfortunately cannot sort for today. Why do I have 3 Phantom Lancer cards is my question. Trying to just look through my inventory right now to think of content.
I've actually been watching a lot more Dota lately. Might reinstall it, but I know I don't have space on my hard drive. I've only got 10 gigs free.
Why don't you just download another hard drive?
Hold on. What's the link?
I don't know, www.downloadmorehard-drive-space.com.au.
That's a big thonking moment. You download something to free up space, to get more space. So you have to... How much space does the thing take to give you more space? That's what I want to know.
So on this meme of downloading just more hardware stuff, right? I mean, this is taking it way back, okay? So this is like throwing it into probably when Mitch was like maybe a toddler and I was like maybe a 5 or 6 year old kid. We're bringing this back to Windows 98, DOS. Maybe when Blair still had a couple of dreams about Agent Counter-Strike being good. Jeez, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
We love Blair. Don't get us wrong, guys. I miss him.
I miss him as well, man.
So before Download More RAM, back to the story, they actually released a software that claimed that it would double your RAM, right? So it wasn't like a download scam or anything. They actually just full on sold you a scam software for like $70.
what was their argument that they could like make your RAM work twice as well with some software?
Yeah, pretty
or
much.
something?
Like they just optimize it and make it work like double as well, and they charge like $70, $80. I only found out like this program existed because there's like a lot of good YouTubers, out there that make some pretty solid content around things that you never really knew existed, and you don't really watch it for the content at the stage. You actually watch it because they're entertaining, and that was this guy. It was pretty entertaining. So. And it just turns out the software was a scam.
Anyone's more entertaining than more tech pauses, Kev. That's what I'll tell you.
I'm trying to dig deep in terms of just random stories at the moment. I was already telling you about a guy who also beats all of like Fallout 3, Fallout 4, Fallout New Vegas, as well as Skyrim with a zero equipment load. So he tries to finish the game with zero equipment load showing in his inventory.
Can you tell me the story about the guy who has a degree in epidemiology and can't get a job during the biggest pandemic we've seen in a long time?
Yeah, truly unfortunate about that one. The degree was a bit of a waste. It's almost as if the government funded a little bit more and gave a bit more incentive to keep brain power inside Australia, I'd have incentive to actually go do it. But there's no incentive when you're literally talking with like other people who've done PhDs and they're like, yeah, we're struggling to find jobs.
Time to move to Sweden.
Yeah. And that's why I'm in esports. There's more of a future in esports than there is in epidemiology. Which, when you think about it, in this current climate, makes sense, and it was also very depressing.
Probably explains the COVID figures.
I mean, you can't even convince I don't know how much of the nation doesn't believe that it exists, and that therein lies a problem.
How many Fortnite earnings do you have, though?
Unfortunately, none. Though I have to say my Orange Justice dance actually does it justice. Can't wait to break it out at the next esports event. Really capitalize on some of those dance move fames. Just hit some kids with the infinite dab after I 1v1 them.
Might win yourself a graphics card.
All right, I think there's enough about some inane ramblings at this stage. It does look like it's going to be a bit more of an extended pause once again as we're waiting for SK to get back in the server. It has happened at an inopportune time once again in terms of Map 3 of the Grand Finals, but we're just going for a bit of a short break, just putting on some music as we're watching the action unfold, which is to say nothing at all. So we'll be back hopefully very, very soon. Not too long of a break this time, as it looks like SK is back. The real question is how long. It is a pretty tight grand final so far.
Alrighty. Got another buy with absolutely no utility from the T side. See how far they're able to get without any grenades. So far, Nike's copped a double nade from the B players and a triple nade, which is what should have been happening a little bit earlier. Ritz doesn't check his corner in towards Olaf, so he's going to lose his life to the Tech 9, which is going to make Martzel a little bit more scared of pushing that angle. M4 is picked up, though, so that's a little bit more firepower in favour of the Ts, who, honestly, if they group up and maybe hit the small site, might not have too bad of a shot at taking this round away, Kev.
Yeah, especially Marzel is just playing that CT corner as well. Has to drop the smoke now, which means there is a lot of time, honestly, for Too Easy to kind of maneuver around. Marzel's just playing close to that smoke for now. SK, the way that he's standing on the wall makes me very concerned. But looks like he's... he's moving again. No, he stopped again. Oh. It's crawling forward. They're just going for the straight contact play as Marzel. Huge damage. 2 points of damage to the AK-47. They have to give up the B site for now. As straight into the reboots. No one really watching this right now, as SK definitely still lagging a little bit as he didn't react. But Paradox, he's reacting right now to bring this on to a 3-on-3.
Smoke on towards Banana, though. Does allow this retake to come in. Does cut on-car off from both of his teammates. Should be a good flash over the top from Raf. And, well, maybe they can get back into this site. But he does go down to spawn.
And now the swing's coming out, but RVK trained on that angle. RVK doing some good work. Tech 9, though, from Omcar, much better at close range. This is a very open plant. Kara's going to drop the smoke, tap it once. And, oh my goodness, gets the shots through the edge of the smoke as well. Nice round coming out from Kara towards the end, who has definitely stepped it up in Inferno to win some of these rounds for Blaze.
Oh, we finally got a substitute in.
Yeah, Relax.
Relax, he's here. Everyone relax. They've got a substitute. Relax, Kev. Don't blow your fuse, mate.
Yeah. Just took a while, but it looks like he's ready and geared up, good to go. Only has a Glock. Being more money responsible than SK ever was this entire series.
Half buy comes through from the rest of the Ts. Not really a whole lot going on here. Martzel going to fall back, drop his smoke on the choke point, takes the duel with Spawn though and loses his head.
Nice little timing from Ritz just to slide out of coffins. And Paradox all the way up at jungle. Unfortunately, can't really get much done with the Tech 9 this time around. So 2 rounds left in the first half, and Blaze now slowly crawling to a pretty commanding lead. Obviously, not an ideal situation for Too Easy to be in, having to use a sub, but they're going to have to make do.
Util's decent on the T side at least, although they are... Oh man, this is what passes for decent now. They have 1 Molotov and 3 flashbangs. At least it's better than 0 grenades, but Spawn's going to lose his life very early on there. Now Paradox wide swinging again, wins a duel, but traded by Raf, who gets traded by Omcar. The fights in carpets never stop. Martzel pushing straight down Banana, does get a whole lot of info though, and catches a player with his knife out. This is the sub coming in. Now to say bomb site in control of Too Easy, they put the bomb down.
Yep, just once again, it's just fights erupting across the place and trade for trade. Brings it back down to the 2-on-2. Both CTs grouping up, going to try and hit this through Diggity. Bit of a janky smoke, and it might actually fade in the favor of the T's. As Omka definitely stepping it up pretty big time right now. He's making it work. 4 kills for him in that round. Starting to frag it up quite well on Inferno, especially on the T side, winning a lot of these instrumental rounds. And we're into the final round where, oh dear, look at all of a sudden the CT economy is not looking too good.
Yeah, I would agree. Few weapons being dropped over to some of the team. Blaze doing their best to put a decent buy together. And it's looking like this half is going to be pretty neck and neck here. Banana control firmly in the favor of Blaze, though. Very, very important that they're able to secure and retain that. In the meanwhile, too easy. Flashbang in towards Boiler. Maybe try to set RVK up to win a duel with one of the Ts who's been swinging over there.
Kara caught out off timing though. As Ritz faces so many Ts, still able to get away with one. They're just fighting at the moment. An RVK for Mars, lots of damage. Good flashbang coming forward as well. It's going to delay them a little bit longer. Hughes, unfortunately, just can't land the glue at close range, and now they know there's going to be one over here in the pit position. That's going to be Raf up against Spawn, trying to take this fight. It's going to be Raf that comes out on top at the end of the day. So, 9-6. Still a decently commanding lead for the CT side as they transition over to the attack.
Yeah, should potentially set themselves up to win this grand final, to be honest. Have a lot more favour in their T side than I do for 2easy, who have now lost one of their instrumental players. And will have to play the rest of this grand final with this substitute player. So I'd say, all things considered, this is probably Blaze's game on a silver platter. See how they go about it. 5 sets of armor for 2easy. Not a single bit of util or kit. Blaze, again, same setup we've seen from almost every T-pistol for them. Marzel gets a smoke and a flash and a P250. And the rest of the boys just going to send it straight up Banana.
Spawn, though, fighting close with the USP, making some of it work. And Omka, though, can't find the timing. RVK, once again, just exploding out with a few kills. Knight clears out close, grabs his Nana control off of Marzu, has to evacuate from that Nana position. And RVK just continuing the killing spree right now. Now over at CT is going to hear both of them cross over, gives it a bit of a kiss. Both with the Glock, as well as... Nope, not the ace. Marzu's a bit of a killjoy there.
Stolen. That's a sad state of affairs. Pretty massive performance from RVK, though.
I was going to say, can we get a Sag in chat right there?
Definitely worthy of it.
This is a very solid round coming out from, I would probably say the MVP, honestly, so far this entire series has been RVK. Would have been a close fight with SK, but...
Well, it is actually a save from 2easy Gaming, which is insane, by the way, considering it's Inferno. Second round buys are like the most common out of any map. You second round buy, it's Inferno. And this is the team that always force buys, and they've opted to save. Which is crazy to me.
Maybe they just needed to break the fuse a little bit, just relax. That's what they needed.
I guess so. See if they are a bit more calmed down. Maybe look at the fuses is what SK needs in case it's a power issue, like something like that. Either way though, buy up for 2easy. This is the problem with a third round buy. You don't get any Molotovs and you kind of lack quite a bit of util. So on Inferno, that's kind of bad because, you know, on Inferno, you go onto Banana and you throw your Molotovs down and you chuck your HE nades in there and you try to take control of that part of the map. But I guess 2easy Gaming will be doing something else. See what the game plan is for them.
Wouldn't mind seeing an apartments explosion, honestly, on the back of a lot of these Mac 10s.
Seems like Spawn's just going to fight Sandbag and the other two players are going to play on site. Blaze have taken a lot of Banana control, but Martzel with only that Mac 10 and with Spawn playing aggressive on the Sandbags, can't really do a whole lot more than that. In the meanwhile, Blaze chucked that smoke down on Jungle. 2easy just going to stack the A bomb site because Spawn has got full info down Banana, not really challenged much by Martzel. And I think it's going to end up working out for them, Kev, actually.
Just comes out to timing right now at Nana, potentially. All you really need to do at this stage is just hold on to your positions. You've got this full control right now. You don't really need to push anywhere. Paradox using this bit of a cheeky one-way. Marzel's trying to bait this reaction coming in from the CTs. But can't bait enough for a reaction at the end of the day as Ritz just can't get the spray. Paradox starting to come up live.
Down onto the 2-on-5. Marzel, same problem he's had most of this round. Can't really get a whole lot done with the Mac 10, and now Raf must 1v5.
And he won't be able to. That's 5 alive for the CT side. You don't say that too often with not too much utility, but they all upgrade to much more serviceable rifles in comparison to the FAMAS.
Yep. Interesting state of affairs. Now Blaze's money is a bit cooked, but they're going to buy up anyway.
Did they lose Inferno in the second half on CT side or T side for Blaze?
I think they won Inferno.
Oh.
But it might have been OT. Can't remember. Marzel's got full banana control this time, which is good. Too easy again, just playing 3 players on the B-bomb site and 2-on-8. It's an interesting setup. Now Blaze going to smoke off jungle side and start to take some control of bracket. They push the CTs off of B in towards banana, so they do have info over there. Marzel running through the top mid smoke, just takes a duel in towards Speedway when the bomb is nowhere really near the A site.
Finally something for the T's to work with as Raf able to get one with Galil. Paradox blinded out. Trying to fight close range. Doesn't make it work against Raf, who's doing fantastic with the Galil. Got mollied out of position as well. Blaze, somehow, managed to find a couple of entries that work their favour. The CTs might just try to contain the T's just to see if they can damage their economy.
Definitely worth it. Okay, Nike sending it right up dig. This is... Well, no one peeks him. Not a single soul peeks him.
Ritz has, and he's gone, ooh, that's an M4 for us to take. The CTs are on a bit of a journey. As Ritz doing a lot of damage right now. A lot of the CTs kind of just offering themselves up. Just going, sir, would you like to take another M4? Would you like to damage our economy more? Here.
Well, the fill-in for Too Easy Gaming is not having an easy time with things. It's the opposite of too easy for him so far. Good news is, Kev, he's on for the James Bond.
Pretty high pressure situation though. Can't really blame the man for just coming in here and probably not expecting him to end his weekend trying to play Counter-Strike against probably one of the best teams inside the region.
Well, again, Marzel has just taken banana control. Forced the CTs to have very little info in that part of the map. But he's going to wide swing after securing that with the Mac 10 and lose his life. Which is not ideal. That gives a man advantage to the CTs, but... Well, let's be real. Blaze, they've got a lot of map control over here towards B. They're just going to run through the smoke with a nice pop flash from that barrel position. No one on the site. Spawn's going to spray one through the smoke.
Has to be some pretty good post-mate utility that comes out from Blaze. Rune 5 have a couple of mollies to work with as well as smoke grenades. And there's that last smoke grenade being used at CT. Still another Molotov as well. There is a kit and smoke for the CTs to work with, however. But they need to as I say, start to make a bit of a wriggle on. Flashbang as well to push through CT. Nice little spray down through the smoke to find Raph. All down to Kara, hiding over at New Box. Needs to find the picks. He's able to spray down at the very least two. Trying to buy time. He's able to isolate. Nike gets the kill, but there's no time for the defuse. Kara's done enough.
What a round from Kara. Putting the team on his back. That was really sketchy, that round. Jesus. Just the losing the picks over towards the B side after already taking that banana control. But it all works out in the end because Kyra is just having a hell of a game after two very, very quiet earlier maps in this grand final. You have to give the man credit. He is really stepping up here for Blaze and putting them in pole position to actually win this grand final. Force Buy comes in from 2EZ Gaming. Very limited util. They absolutely clean out what's left in the coffers. And this is an opportunity for Blaze to reset their money right near match point.
And it's official. Fuse Relax has gone, James Bond, which, as I was saying, pretty unfortunate. But, again, it's not really... How do I say it? One of the pieces you're expecting to really perform here. He's come in under short notice. And right now, oh no, he's been hit by the nade as well. Presence revealed. Kara is not going to clear close sandbags. I don't know if he spotted out the yellow player over there on site, but I think they suspect it.
Should have had some free kills there, but he's knife out running down second mid. So missed opportunity. Marcel does spot him out, so Ritz in position for the trade. Nicely done. Wow, 3 to 3.5k in the bank for 2EZ. Going up against 14-7 scoreline. It's not a good state of affairs, Kev. It's looking like Blaze are about to take this grand final. 2EZ forcing up again. It's not really what you want to be seeing.
Very much, yeah.
And MP9s across the board.
It's going to be forced to the death pretty much at the end of the day, which is pretty unfortunate. Paradox is going to cop a lot of damage. We've seen this before on the pistol round. It might actually just work out. He's just pretty much full sending it. And RVK thinking about maybe pursuing. In the meantime, they've lost complete Nana control.
Well, that's going to be the round. Not too much to talk about there, I don't think. Feel like 2EZ Gaming are kind of just force buying themselves to death. Probably pretty on tilt at this point.
Yeah, I mean...
running around.
I mean, it's not been an ideal situation, right? Where they've had two games where arguably their best player has been taken out of the server from factors out of their control. Nothing you can really do about it at the end. I think it's just also the case of... They definitely felt like they could have had it 2-0. Now 15-7. Yep, just full pushing down mid.
Well, they're going to go out in a blaze of glory, I guess, Kev, as they just keep re-peeking those angles. Nike is the last one alive, swinging through B into the apartments, and that is going to be it. Blaze are your grand final winners. 16-7 on Inferno. They're going to be the champions of the South Asian portion of eXTREMESLAND. Yeah. Which is probably what everyone expected, but the very, very shaky fashion in which they did it, there was a lot of close games between them and Wicked yesterday, and I would even say in this grand final, a lot of closer scenarios for sure.
Absolutely, but you know what? At the end of the day, they do manage to grab the victory, so congratulations to Blaze once again, getting that victory over 2EZ one more time, and taking home a decent amount of cash as well. As we're always saying, it's never bad to be taking home 1,000 USDs, which is honestly quite a bit anywhere that you do take it. So, yeah,
second place, the 500. Hopefully that is able to fund a nice little 4G phone plan for SK. And I think he can get himself connected to the server next time.
I think for me, like a bit of memes aside, that to me would have been a lot more interesting. And maybe there is a little bit of a question mark on what would have happened if SK, wasn't disconnected for so long in both Dust 2 as well as Inferno, right? I think it got to the stage in Inferno where it was untenable because of what's happened on Dust 2. If a player of his caliber was in for both of the games, maybe they would have won Dust 2. They wouldn't have been put on tilt. Regardless of the scenario, though, Blaze definitely played a lot better. They have, I think, that experience as well. They did it with two players, I think, two international players in terms of everything, playing with 70 and 80 ping, which is no mean feat.
Yeah, I don't know how I would go, to be honest, on that amount of ping. I probably would not be able to win very many duels, but I think, it's Raf and Kara doing it. Kara did struggle on 2 of the maps in the grand final, but that last map where it was really needed, he had a really good performance. And I think, Raf on 100 ping, he was dropping 40s in some of the games, and he seems to be probably the most. If I was to pick a player that I thought was probably the most competent out of all that I watched, I would probably pick Raf. He seems to really know his angles. He uses his utility well, and it pays off for him. He wins a lot of duels on a very high amount of ping. So, being able to be an MVP candidate for a tournament when you're playing with 100 ping, that deserves respect, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. I think mine overall still goes to RVK for just raw fragging power. You can have your cool, cute little angles you hold with your 400 DPI, and you don't need to swing your mouse that much to get the kill. Ultimately, it does come down to a lot of the aim deals, and you can see a lot of the times if they don't have the firepower of RVK, who's able to mechanically take it away from them, it could be a different scenario.
Yeah, and I would say, there was a bit stronger of a calling presence on BL4ZE than some of the other teams, although their economy management leaves a little bit to be desired for sometimes, and some of the calls are a little bit rough around the edges. I think that's the map pool, which is going to make some of your opponents a little bit more uncomfortable, and it's going to get you more consistent wins in best of threes a large percentage of the time. So, deserved win, good stuff from BL4ZE, and it's been nice to observe the Indian region and all of the regions in eXTREMESLAND so far. It's been a lot of fun. I think that was our last cast for eXTREMESLAND, so I'm keen to see how the rest of the Asian region does start to unfold. Keen to see the next Indian Premiership and who ends up shaping up to win that one. And it's been fun.
Absolutely. It's been a bit of a blast. Obviously, I wasn't expecting to really be on today, but here I am. Look, BL4ZE, once again, congratulations on taking out another trophy, making sure that you're really the titans of the Indian scene as well. That's it right now for eXTREMESLAND Festival 2020 for the South Asia region. However, up next in 2 weeks' time, it is going to be Middle East. I'm not too sure if you're going to see our friendly faces again, if you're going to see someone else, but that's going to be over the 12th to the 14th. If you think the 14th is going to be anything special, you're deluding yourselves. You're all computer nerds. You're all going to be here watching the grand finals. We'll catch you then. Until then, take care and stay safe.
Athletes are always challenging themselves to get better. You've seen this in all sports. Esports is no exception. You can never predict the outcome. The only thing you can control is how ready you are. Over and over, players adapt, trying to improve, fighting hard for every percent gained. Give everything you've got to the challenge and show your finest. Bring your best out. Strive for perfection.